It's been screaming all night. It's so cold in here. They leave the door open. My thermometer is broken, but it's so cold. So this is how they're treating blacks. The broken DA's office doesn't want to help me. My mother was killed by daughters who was member of an inheritance scam gang that kill people for money. My mother owns properties all over the world. And they killed her, stole all the properties she has, and I've been trying to get the broken DA's office to help me. I'm also homeless on the street, and those, I believe the gangs that filled up my mother's doors are also bothering me. My mother said she was careful before she died. Before she was killed, she told me they were going to target me also. And the daughters poisoned her, and when my mother went to fled Pennsylvania to come here to New York to go to the hospital, and the daughters came to the hospital, framed up as crazy, and got her locked up. And that got stressed my mother. I killed my mother. She has been screaming all night. It's freezing. And I don't know, I've been contacting that Mayor Bandani since last year. It doesn't help me. The broken DA doesn't help me. I also connect the New York State Commission on Ethics and Lobbying the government. They investigate fraud. This New York is being turned to a big fraud where people can do whatever. It's so cold. It's so cold. Are you cold? You don't want to talk? Alright, don't be rude. I know I'm cold. I'm feeling very cold. During the winter, when the heat is on, they're not supposed to leave the doors open like this. And they barely leave the heat on. Anywhere I'm at, they're freezing me out. And it's so cold. But nobody wants to admit the truth. The truth. It's so damn cold. There's not even nothing. So cold. You're not supposed to leave the door open like this when the heat is on. You're supposed to close all the doors and leave just one door open. And it's been morning and agony like that. Also freezing. I have my hoodie on. I used to have a thermometer I bought for the 99 cents for. But it always breaks. I buy it for like $1, $2. And they stole all my luggages. Anytime I buy that thermometer and I record the emptiest trains being cold, they'll have people rob me around the train station. So my tire to my luggage was giving problems, so I chain locked it in front of Borough Manhattan Community College. Before I came back, they've already removed it. And so the police are working with MTA under the program of locking people up in mental homes to try to drive you crazy, rage bait you. So they're stealing all my property. The last time the MTA had the police arrest me, so one of the last time they stole my green card, stole thousands of dollars I've saved up to buy a house. That was in July 20th, 2019. So New York State Commission on Ethics and Lobbying Government, this is a big fraud. This MTA, even one of their workers, his name is Tremaine Thompson, has been saying this MTA is a big fraud. They have to be investigated. They're racketeering. They're trying to freeze people to death. The temperature is code blue. Even the Mayor Mandani said People at risk of dying. 8 homeless have already died. So this Jano Libra said he has tricks to permanently ban people, and they keep arresting me, framing me up as stealing something. They got that idea some years back during COVID. A white Spanish female was beating up a black American male, said the black American stole her phone. See. Excuse me, sir, could you turn the heat up? Please. It's so cold, and please try to lock the door. It's so cold in here. And they're doing whatever. They just ignore you as a poor African like me. My life has no value. So this is turn this New York into a big fraud, a racketeering pot. My mother was killed in her own daughter's, poisoned in Pennsylvania. My mother fled back to New York. Bolali and Florida is the daughter's name. And my mother flew back to New York, and she was admitted at Bellevue Hospital for heart problem from the poison. The daughters were feeding her like counterfeit poison. One of the daughters was for the Texas. It seemed to just turned the heater. And you have to beg them to not freeze it to them. So that's the sound of the heat. They're freezing the homeless, and they're trying to cause us to become medically paralysis, pneumonia, because a lot of these homeless, they're uneducated, they don't know how to speak up. So please investigate this. This is a serious violation. I've been contacting the mayor's office WhatsApp, and it pretends to care, even though BAPC news, now it's just on. They turn it off, and it will open. This is the number 2 train, and this train goes to the Bronx, an open surface area. Now it's the Flatbush, Brooklyn, and it goes to the Bronx, an open surface area. So it brings the more cold weather. So that's the heat just sounding. Wasn't sounding before. I know he was so cold, but there's no other person that is willing to, be my witness. So even I went to the Brooklyn DA's office yesterday, and they were, and they didn't want to help me. They said go to the regular shelter. I said that's a code blue, saying no shelter provider should refuse you shelter. I said I'm a victim of human trafficking. All my immigration document has been stolen. I said you Family Justice Center of the Brooklyn DA's office, you are the best person to help me. I said she told me come back some other time. She first told me go to the regular shelter. I said no. So this is how they treat immigrants. That office handles human trafficking just like mine, and they try to protect my mother's daughters who are U.S. citizens that trafficking people here. Those daughters have stolen my immigration document. Those daughters, and because they said they always try to refuse black male. Black transsexuals like me, unless you're a woman with a child, that's who they want to help. So she was at the Brooklyn DA's office, Family Justice Center. They referred me to the general shelter. I said I should ask the general shelter for the domestic violence shelter. I'm like, you're the Family Justice Center of the Brooklyn District Attorney. So you can help me with the domestic violence shelter. So they've been turning up, and it's also she gave me the phone number for Save Horizon. I called out for Save Horizon many years ago. Some years ago, during COVID rather. I told them during COVID the guy raped me and said he's affiliated with the police, and I called the 911 in his house, and the police drove me out of his house. Even though the Governor Cuomo signed a law that you can't remove if somebody during the COVID, the shelter-in-place law saying once somebody is somewhere, police shouldn't evict them, they should treat them as a tenant. The housing cost was closed during COVID. There was a shelter in place law that gave me tenancy right. And the guy held me hostage for 7 days or more. When I called 911, he was beating me with. He said, I met him on the train. I was looking for a bathroom, they lock up on the bathroom. During 2020 COVID, they said, suffering from, and they did that to have me raped. I'm from Nigeria, I have diarrhea, and I've been homeless for 15 years, and this is my diarrhea pill. So they were trying to traffic me sexually. So I was begging people on the train to let me come home with them because I didn't have any ID.
Stand clear of the closing door.
So I could use the bathroom. Everybody declined. And this guy was like, I could come to his house and use the bathroom. And I told him I was going to pay him money. And it was like, it doesn't mind, getting paid to finish his bathroom. And we got to his house and was like, no, he just wants to get married right away. I'm like, no. The deal was, I'm just coming to his bathroom and I'll pay you something to the bathroom. And I started raping me, said he worked for the police, said I tried to get, trying to escape. He would have the police kill me. Even at some point, someone of his friends that's also a police was supposed to join me for the rape. And he had me hostage in his apartment in Bronx for like 7 days. And the MTA started it, using the police to arrest me, stole my green card in 2019, stole all my ID, my social security card. So by 2020 when the COVID started, I couldn't rent a hotel room anymore. So you see the guy stopped screaming, they just turned the heat on. That's why they stopped screaming. And it's not communicative. I don't know what kind of, he's been screaming all night.
Church Avenue.
Excuse me, is it better now?
Clear of the closing door.
Sir, you feel the heat now? You don't want to communicate? Do you feel the heat? I'm also homeless like you. I'm trying to report that they left the train without heat. It was screaming. I don't know if that's I don't know whether it's communicated, but it was cursing earlier. It was just screaming. Like it was already pneumonia face. So they said eight homeless people died on the street. This Mandani administration needs to be investigated because it's all back without bites. And WABC radio said the Arabs may have paid them money just to destabilize New York and pay America back for 9/11. Because I've been contacting this administration since last year, saying, look, my mother was killed, she's from Nigeria, but she has a US passport, and her daughters who are part of a narcotic gang that killed people for money, poisoned my mother in Pennsylvania, and my mother fell to New York, and those daughters, came to New York against my mother's wish, came to the hospital where my mother was. My mother didn't tell them what hospital she was in. So my mother was wondering how these daughters were able to get information of the name and address of the hospital. So I believe those daughters were took the track and my mother's bag. And they told the hospital to lock my mother up in a sack. The daughters were born in New York, so they spoke American English. My mother was born in Nigeria, so she speaks Nigerian English. So the hospital discriminated against my mother. Even though my mother passed the mental health test, the hospital still locked my mother up in 2015 in the psychiatric hospital. And they must have stabbed her, with the psychiatric medication called ketamine, because my mother didn't want to go to the psychiatric ward because she wanted to remain in the ICU to treat her heart disease. And my mother was a nursing assistant and she had passed the mental health test. And she was trying to explain to the doctors and they just followed directives from the daughters that was having her illegally tortured and locked up in a mental ward. Even my mother passed mental health test. So please, you have to investigate this. New York State Commission on Ethics and Lobbying Government. And I would also like the court to get involved. I've also been locked up wrongfully, misdiagnosed as crazy. They're locking us immigrants up, misdiagnosed as crazy. Another Nigerian that's homeless said they locked them up also, misdiagnosed as crazy. They stole my green card. Another homeless person said they stole his green card and passport. Another one said they actually used to rob her when she was homeless. Still a US passport. So this is very serious. They are killing people on purpose. This man Danny was pretending that he cares and things out of control. There's a gang, here denying immigrants like me justice. A xenophobic gang, and this man Danny is acquiescing to the torture that preceded him being in office. I was contacting him last year. It was the New York Assemblyman, and he said he barely showed up at work. And I used to get targeted in the train station bathroom in Queens. A woman was threatening me that I'm going to be dragged out of the bathroom one day as a transsexual in my store, and I quickly reported that threat to the Queens District Attorney's Office, Melinda Katz. Eric Adams was mayor last year, and she didn't help me either. You know, and they dragged me out of the bathroom in Manhattan instead. So that's like a black American gang attacking us in Nigeria. You know, I'm trying to get justice. The immigration arrested me wrongfully, and a black American was helping me with my cooperative person when the police were home, Eric Garner, and the police went and killed him. And Eric Adams, former mayor Eric Adams, knew Eric Garner. He was his childhood friend. So after Eric Garner was killed, trying to help me, I believe this Eric Garner wanted me dead also. But they say some black Americans don't want Africans to be alive and be able to benefit in America because they said we sold their ancestors to slavery. So I'm experiencing all kinds of racketeering. So this black American gang are training, and they're going to be killing Africans. Like, even when I go to stores like Target store, they always try to jump me. The workers there, and I heard there was a Spanish guy during COVID in the last 4 years went and sat in front of that store, and the gang members attacked him, stabbing them. Anytime I see in front of that store, they have chairs. They try to kill me also. I'm calling the police to visit them. They regard them attack multiple times. Even when I go into the store, the gang members that work in that store, they cover their nose smoking, and they are working with them. Jump in, take it out of the store as I'm shopping. You know, so this is serious, and they're continuing this. You know, trying to freeze me, and right now, anytime I'm in the train, people come and bring their marijuana around me. I've been getting trained that if I dare use the bathroom in the train station, they're going to say I'm doing drugs and kill people there and tase them there, you know, and people have been telling me the only way I can get help is to marry them. And the guy took me home and raped me. You know, so they're using human trafficking to rape people. I'm a Nigerian, I've been raped. You know, all my immigration papers has been stolen from me. As soon as the MTA started a program called Top 50 in 2019, in which they said that the aim of the program is to frame all 50 homeless people up they handpicked and remove us permanently from the train station. And they framed me up. They were having little kids spit at me in 2019, and I won, and the police wouldn't help me. And one of the police officers in 2019, Barry Jackson, told me, leave the train station, don't come back, otherwise when we arrest you wrongfully, we're going to take all your immigration document, everything from you. So I called the Tenants Affairs Bureau, and the Tenants Affairs Bureau was hanging up the phone on me. And days later, they had a guy slap me on Barry Jackson and forgot me. And that's in front of that train station. As I was begging for money, I go there in front of that train station outside to beg for money. You know, Barry Jackson and forgot me, July 20, 2019. And the guy slapped me in the back of my head. And Trump was doing an immigration raid in July 23rd, 2019. You know, and I told the guy to stop attacking me. And the police came and jumped me, slapped me on the floor, stole my green card, stole $1,000 plus I've saved up. Someone gave me $100 bill, $50 bill. So I stole $1,000 plus to buy a house. I put everything in my luggage and stole everything from me. You know, and I was in the police DA office. I've been trying to get them to help me that this human trafficking occurs in Brooklyn in 2019. And they wouldn't help me as a Nigerian, because helping me will qualify me for other immigration services, at least help me get my green card back. And after I sent a complaint to your office, New York State Commission on Ethics and Lobbying the Government, I carbon copied the Brooklyn DA's office, and a guy named Anthony called me back yesterday, January 27, 2026, and he was telling me he doesn't know, his office doesn't help people like me, that the police have to be the one to refer me. I said the police are the one robbing me, and he hung up on me. Then I called him back, he told me he can't help me, I should contact the U.S. Immigration. I'm like, you know, I said I need more than U.S. Immigration help. I need you to provide me, you know, my civil rights has been deprived. So they're turning this New York State into a big mafia. I'm a Nigerian. They stole my green card, had a guy take me home from the MTA, raped me, you know, and they don't turn the heat on unless I begin to unless I begin to record like this. There was a guy that was screaming all night long. The heat wasn't turned on until and they leave the doors wide open, even though it's against New York law that when the winter is on and the temperature and the heat is on, they can't leave all the doors open. And this train goes to the Bronx, they leave the doors open for like almost 30 minutes. So freeze us homeless, say 8 homeless have already died. This MTA, the General Lieber, says he's going to get rid of all the homeless through tricks. And one of his things is to freeze us up. They've been calling the police to arrest me. They said the next time they're going to kill me in the bathroom. I have diarrhea. Like I show you my diarrhea drugs. I have diarrhea. And they said they're going to frame me if I was doing drugs in the bathroom and kill me. So please, New York State Commission on Ethics and Lobbying in Government, you are an anti-corruption agency. This is turned to a genocide. There's going to be the World Cup later this year in the summer, and a lot of countries want to pull out. They said the abuse of human rights by America is crazy. A lot of countries say they don't want to send their players here. So this is a disgrace, and I would implore everyone to donate money to my Cash App, NYC Homeless. So please, this standoffish attitude. I've also been contacting your agency, New York State Commission on Ethics and Lobbying in Government, through Instagram. You never responded back to me. So I don't know what is going on. Maybe you just don't like Instagram, but I've filed a formal complaint on your website. So please, this standoffish attitude. I was contacting you like 2 years ago when Eric Adams was the mayor. So this standoffish attitude won't work. Please, you gotta help. My mother's been killed. She's from Nigeria. Our own daughters were part of a racketeering gang, narcotic gang that kill people for money. So please. And they deny me shelter. And these people need to be locked up at the Brooklyn District Attorney's Office, Family Justice Center. There were 2 women. One of them was Hispanic, one of them was like white. And they had a Black American security guard hold me hostage by the exit door. Wouldn't let me come in. They always treat me like I'm a big stink African. I was mocking since just like that. You can't proceed any further. And the 2 women were mocking me. I'm a victim of rape. And all my immigration documents have been stolen. And the broken, so please, you have to investigate this. This is an eyesore, and there's nobody can deny this. And I know during the slavery, the blacks didn't have cell phones to record this atrocity. So there's museum showing at the slave owners who beat up the blacks, leave marks on their back. There's the slavery museum that have pictures. So I think you're taking it back to the olden days of pure abuse of black life. So Brooklyn District Attorney's Office, there's a gang killing people in Brooklyn. They attack people. They stab a Spanish guy dead in front of the Target to Atlantic Terminal, and they use little kids to beat me up also, chase me in front of moving cars around that area, and I had to hide in a store, and they broke the window to the store, and the store owner called 911, I called 911, and the store owner asked for a police report. The police didn't give a police report. This was in 2021 December, as soon as I became mayor. I think it's part of a Black American gang. He used to be a police officer. He used to go to prison. He was in prison also for sex trafficking a woman when he was 12 years old. He said he beat up a prostitute that was working for him. In Brooklyn at 12 years old. And he went to prison, came out of prison, went to college, and now became mayor. But he said he's been accused of sexual assault also while he was a police officer against his Black American police officer. So it's a mess. And there was a day, there was a report that the FBI arrested Eric Adams' friend. I don't remember the friend's name. I would just loosely guess that Stacey Dorothy Cat. I don't remember exactly. So that may not be the exact name. I don't recall the exact name. And he said that one raped a woman in one police plaza. So I was reading the newspaper report about it. On November 14, 2025, I was on the 2 train like this, so I posted it on YouTube, and I went upstairs to the bathroom on Chambers Street, Springs, the women's bathroom, and 7 police officers came and arrested me, and they decided to frame me up also, and they were acting weird. They came into the bathroom. I'm like, okay, I have privacy rights in the bathroom. I'm in the store. I have privacy rights. I'm not in imminent danger to anyone. I'm not in imminent threat. Why are you ready in the bathroom? They wouldn't tell me. And they decided to drag me in the bathroom. Wouldn't tell me nothing. So it was a setup, and you're not allowed to entrap somebody. I recorded the whole arrest on YouTube. They came out and trapped me, and they always attack me in that bathroom. I always call 911. You know, there was a time around 2019 I had to call 911 because the Me Too. There's all of Americans that want to gang mob me. When the police took my home on Staten Island around 2010, they watched me naked as they were kicking me out, so they have to report me naked. And my mother called 311 to report to Civilian Complaint Review Board. I called 311 to report to Civilian Complaint Review Board that the police would forcefully nude search me. So that's their protocol when they come to somebody's house to make sure the person doesn't have a weapon. And to make sure the person doesn't have any weapon. And they evicted my mother out of her home wrongfully. You know, so my mother reported to 311 Civilian Complaint Review Board. I reported to 311 Civilian Complaint Review Board that nobody would help us. You know, so I contacted the Lita James office. She was a public advocate. At that time, she was fighting for Black Americans that were being illegally evicted by private landlords. And the court was warning her, she is the public advocate of New York City, so there's conflict of interest. She can't sue private landlords in court for fellow Black Americans. So she said she can only sue government agencies that abuse the rights of civilians, like police agencies. So that's the only people she can sue. She can't be suing private landlord as the city public advocate. But she defied the court order. She kept on suing private landlord. You know, against the court order, and they didn't arrest her for obstruction of justice. Even Trump has been trying to arrest her, said she married her father wrongfully in Virginia to buy a cheaper house. And even the court doesn't want to prosecute her because she speaks very good English. She's middle class, saying it's very hard to prosecute the middle class because the jury in America always sides with the middle class. They feel threatened by the super rich guys like Trump and the poor people like, you know, so as long as you're stuck in the middle, they say in America you're all good. You know, the average person is not threatened by you, but they're threatened by very poor immigrants and very super rich white guys. You know, so because of that, she's in love. And so I contacted this lady, Lita James. You know, I was in Manhattan, close to our city hall office, around 2014. And I told her, you know, I'm suing the NYPD courts. I just filed a complaint in 2013. I can't find a lawyer. They took my home office. And she told me to come to her office. And she took my name down. And I went there right away within 10 minutes. When I got there, she told her secretary to tell me she's no longer interested in the case. So apparently, because from my name, Babatunde Olababo, she now discovered I wasn't even Black American in Nigeria. And she refused to help me. So I later met with a regardant that said, it was a Black American that sells cigarettes on the street. I was like, I will help you if nobody will help you. And the police, when I choked him around my birthday, I said, they were laughing at the building. The police was menacing me also in Brooklyn, Library, Eastern Parkway. They will ban me, say I have too much stuff. As soon as I was tapping court papers against the police, you know, and the regardless I was going to help me with all my court papers. If anybody I wanted to sue said was going to finance me. You know, I was under immigration surveillance because I was arrested as a child wrongfully by the immigration, and I was planning to sue immigration also. And they killed Oregano after the police choked him dead. And everybody marched, and they never let me testify in court after this. They killed him around my birthday. I was born on July 8th, and they killed Oregano on July 7th. I used to go to Black American church, and the pastor, Bishop Jordan here says the number 8 is an important day, that God always does great things. I said number 17. God considers number 8 also because God doesn't believe in double digits. So God will add the numbers together, 1 plus 7 equals 8. So they killed Oregano on July 17th at the same place where I met him. And they say criminal gangs use code to communicate. I believe it was a threat to me. And they've been threatening me ever since. You know, don't let me get justice. You know, so please, this is very serious. Yeah, 8 homeless people died. And Mandani, he was born in Africa. He's an African also. And I've been contacting him since last year. It wouldn't help me either. As a matter of fact, he came to throw me last year. I used to stand in front of 2 Broadway empty headquarters to beg for money. And Eric Adam, you know, I was increasing the paycheck of the ferry workers, their managers, and say it was giving like a $1 million raise each, and the newspapers were wondering, what are the ferry workers doing to be getting like a $1 million per year raise? You know, the managers. You know, and all of a sudden I criticized Eric Adam a lot, and all of a sudden the ferry workers were trying to beat me up in the bathroom. There's a woman, she's an African woman, she's in Washington, Chicago. Every time she sees me, she will block the door and start dancing. start playing music class. I have diarrhea of my life. I just use the bathroom, so I come to dancing. I have to wait till she's dancing. You know, and they try to rage bait me, and they have the police precinct in that ferry. And I heard the police, they're brutal. And finally, they attacked me somewhere else on Chambers Street, bathroom, while I was sitting at the November 25. You know, and I was trying to go to court. They arrested me, even though there's a no bail law. They didn't find no stolen cell phone. They're accused of stealing cell phone. And they rage bait me. They didn't even tell me when they came to the bathroom, the police. And, you know, they were just trying to get me to a panic, get me afraid, you know, and they came in there and was dragging me. I was like, what is going on? Why can't you talk to me? Don't be touching me. He said, you know, and he wouldn't even say nothing. I was just dragging me out of the bathroom, you know. And I was like, I was already, once you're in the store, you know, you have privacy right. I said, unless you're an eminent danger to anybody, you know, you can't just invade the store. Even under the war crime rule, even if I was a prisoner of war, if I was an enemy combatant soldier, I'm still, I'm under international human rights law, I'm still supposed to have access to a clean bathroom and not be denied access to the bathroom. So they were engaging in a form of torture, called Guantanamo Bay torture. You know, they said the U.S. was torturing foreigners, whereby they would apply pressure to your pipe. In the case of Guantanamo Bay prison, they would cover these prisoners' face with a blindfold and dip them in water in the river and tie them up and make these prisoners believe they're drowning, but I don't actually drown these prisoners until this prisoner pass out. So this NYPD on November 14, 2025, a day that's connected to my mother's daughter's birthday. She was born on August 14, and on November 14, these 7 police officers, they claimed they were from Venezuela, or at least majority of them, and they came to the bathroom to Guantanamo Bay torture me. You know, didn't tell me what was going on, and dragged me out of the stall, you know, and choked me with my mask, with my black mask. I couldn't breathe, put me in handcuffs, and I was trying to use the bathroom so bad. They wouldn't let me use the bathroom, and wouldn't tell me what I did wrong, and they were choking me, slamming on the floor, choking me with my mask. Like Guantanamo Bay prison torture. You know, they said the foreigners they removed to Guantanamo Bay prison, they would blindfold them, choke them, and put pressure on their lungs, water body, and by dipping them in water. In my case, they put pressure on my colon. I needed to use the bathroom so bad, and they wouldn't let me use the bathroom. They were distracting me, dragging me out of the bathroom, and they were choking me. They said people have died that way, you know, from being denied access to the bathroom. There was a woman, and she was trying to use the bathroom so bad she couldn't find the bathroom. Her colon ruptured, she died. There's a guy in China, you know, he wanted to use the, he was drunk and went to sleep and didn't get up in time to pee, and his bladder ruptured. I was in the process of using the bathroom when they dragged me out, and my stomach was about to explode. Yeah, they were choking me, and they didn't find any stolen cell phone, and still they locked me up. I said, why are you locking me up? He said, because she was screaming and shouting. I said, yeah, I was in pain. I was trying to use the bathroom. You held me hostage. My colon was about to rupture. I said, now we're going to call that obstruction of justice. I'm like, you're framing me up, you know? And they took me away in handcuffs. Even though I had an ID in my phone showing my identity, because they stole my green card, I had a photocopy of my ID. They didn't even ask for ID, and they took me away to their prison. Well, after we got to their prison, that's where they told me they want to lock me in the psych ward under this Eric Adams directive that anytime they make contact with the homeless and it's involving any kind of criminal behavior or whatever, they accuse the person, you should go and lock the person up in the psych ward. I said, you can't lock me in the psych ward because there's another law that came into effect around 2024 that said a nurse has to interview anybody want to lock up in the psych ward. You know, the police have to call a nurse. I said the psychiatric nurse would know I had, I was agitated because I was using the bathroom and you came and dragged me out of the bathroom. And my colon was about to rupture and you were touching me, held me hostage, and I didn't want to defecate to my parents. And they said a lot of gay people have killed themselves in America by being denied access to the women's bathroom. I said, this is torture. I wasn't an imminent danger to anybody. I said, I was explaining to you that this still no cell phone as a black American gang. They always falsely accusing me of everything and called 911 on me. They said they want to do everything that the whites did to they want to do everything that the white did to their ancestors to me, because we Africans sold our ancestors to slavery. So that was so when they got the idea of calling the police on me, say I stole a cell phone or accusing me, it says they started doing that. Says a white Spanish woman in Manhattan hotel was beating up a black boy. Boom, boom, boom. Says she stole her cell phone. That he stole her cell phone, and then she didn't know that she had mistakenly dropped her cell phone in the Uber she was riding on. And so the Uber driver came back to the hotel and gave her the cell phone. So she fled the Manhattan hotel and went to California to hide, and the news reported it and they brought her on a warrant. This was during the COVID years, and the boy was like a young boy, almost like 12 years old. So they arrested her, and I believe since then they told the police anytime there's a case of a missing cell phone, to be careful and not be arrested anybody. And since then, there are gangs that would always accuse me of stealing the cell phone. And they're just trying to exploit me because since I've been homeless for 15 years, I always report abuse by the police, and I didn't want to profit by claiming all the cell phones I'm using to report. I stole it so that they can exploit any documentary I make in the future. I always buy my cell phone from stores like Target, like $20 cell phone, $30 cell phone. The highest I've ever paid for a cell phone, it's like $60. And I start using the cell phone immediately. I buy it. I'll connect it to my Google web browser, which is I have a Google account, Gmail account. So all my cell phones I always bought brand new, and it's connected to my Google Gmail. So there's no way I'm stealing all these $20 cell phones in store. But they break easily, they get water damage, so I keep buying new ones. But I save the old ones because they contain videos. I've saved in them, and I don't, for future forensic analysis by the court. I also, it's not really a breast, this is I'm wearing a pocket. I was born in America. I'm wearing a bag on my chest with more cell phones, almost 50. So of abuse I've been experiencing for the 15 years. I've been on the street, the police trying to kill me, so it's like a chest walker. So the mother BS surveillance since the immigration arrested me as a child wrongfully. What haven't I been doing in this country? So they said the U.S. government uses like satellite cameras on civilians. So the rogue in FBI is telling the street gangs the things they have on me and to set me up. But they have no right to invade the bathroom. I was occupying. And it's the light and they finally lied to me after they tortured me. Choke me, waterboarded me. That's when they now lied that somebody said I took their cell phone and went to the bathroom. And they said, bring the person. They finally brought him. He was a black American male. He was taller than me. I said, there's no way I would take this guy's phone and go into the bathroom and he won't catch up with me. I said, please, I need a police report. Tell me his name. And they wouldn't give me a police report. Said, we're going to arrest. I said, you're covering up something. I said, this is not the first time I'm going to attack in this bathroom. That was the time I was trying to get the Me Too lawyer arrested because I called her and said the police came into my home, searched me naked, and went and killed my friend Eric Garner that was helping me with the court papers 13 CV 5052. Brooklyn Federal Court after the police searched me naked in my home and kicked my mother out wrongfully, said I'm home is a basement apartment and New York doesn't like people to live in a basement apartment. And they kicked my mother out with a court order in 2010 and Eric Garner was helping me with the court papers in 2014 and 2015. So I contacted them, Gloria Allred of the Me Too, told that I was sexually abused by the police. They searched me naked. One of them was even expressing love interest in me. And the Gloria Allred told me she's so sorry, she won't be able to help me, even though she was for the Me Too. She said she needs the police to arrest Epstein, Weinstein, and R. Kelly, and that if she goes against them by filing complaints against the police for sexually abusing me. So they would drop, both the police and FBI would drop the Weinstein and R. Kelly case. And she said she needs a criminal conviction to win money for her client. In civil court is always help. So I recorded the phone conversation, and I was telling people on the train that please help me get this woman arrested. She's bribing the police and FBI to arrest people, and she doesn't want to help me. So anytime I try to use that Chambers Street bathroom, the Me Too thugs will come in there, take all my, in around 2019, take all my bags and go and throw it in the train track. Say, stop using the women's bathroom. You're not a real woman. And soon the police arrested me on July 20, 2019. And soon the MTA started a program. So they want to get rid of homeless, and they chose handpicked 50 homeless to get rid of. And I was framed up immediately. My green card was stolen. Thousands were stolen. But when they first attacked me around 2019, at the same Chambers Street bathroom, threw all my stuff into the train track, remove my stuff. I said the next time you come to the bathroom, I'm going to kill you. You know, since 2019, I called 911 immediately, and the police officers were shaking the hand of the Me Too thug. You know, and soon after they stole my green card, and even a recorder was hailing the police. They stole my green card, locked me up in the psych ward, July 20, 2019. A day synonymous with my mother's daughter's son, Flora. She killed my mother. She's part of the narcotic gang that killed people for money. And she has a son called Ayinde Cheney Jr., and his own birthday is on 23rd of December. And you know, on July 23rd, a day synonymous 2019 to the 23rd synonymous with my mother's daughter's son. By the police came and framed me up as crazy. A guy came and slapped me on bail, jabbing and forth. I was expecting for money, you know, in Brooklyn. Prior to that, they used to send black American kids as a train station baby.
This is a Bronx
And tried to pick me up, beating me, trying to take me to and they had a police station one night. And watching the kids beat me. And I told that police officer, she was an African woman, also black. So I said, please help me. So I said, no, we're not going to help you. It's you. We're going to lock up and frame up and steal all your property. So I called the Internal Service Bureau around that 2019, and they hung up the phone on me. The black American guy, they answering the phone for the Internal Service Bureau. After I called 911, they linked me up to the Internal Service Bureau. They hung up the phone on me. They hung up the phone on me multiple times. So he doesn't understand my accent. And soon after that, I was arrested in that area. They had a guy slap me, you know, so I was making for money again in that area. And from the train station, and the police came and knocked me down and choked me. The videos on my YouTube. Once I locked my motorcycle, stole my green card, stole thousands of dollars I made, because people used to give me $100 bill, $50 bill, and $6,000 to buy a house. And they stole the money from me, locked me with the psych ward, and even the NY Psychiatric Hospital around that Bay Ridge and from the staff member was laughing and they were shouting, Me Too, Me Too. Apparently, they knew the Me Too set me up, told the MTA to get rid of homeless people, and immediately the MTA, they said a lot of the people working for the MTA,
Stand clear of the closing door.
in-house legal lawyers are former prosecutors. So as the Me Too wanted me to, you know, they created a plan right away, called Top 50, said some homeless people are a danger to the subway system and they have to remove us, and they created the Top 50. That same year, 2019, even that same day, you know, I was using the bathroom at the train station called Prospect Park Q train, and they brought this woman, and they brought the gang, and they smoke bombed the bathroom. Prospect Park Q train, July 2019. Because I just read in the newspaper that somebody died of heat exhaustion. It was around that summer in the Bronx. Their apartment had no window, and they died of heat exhaustion. So in the summer, I still wear my jacket, but you know, I wear a light jacket because I have anemia from Africa. I'm not used to cold weather. You know, so I still wear my jacket. So I normally go to the Q train, Prospect Park station to use the bathroom because that bathroom is always vacant. And soon they started bringing gang members to attack me in the bathroom. And the police was removing the camera, and I had a feeling they were trying to set me up to beat me up and kill me. In that bathroom, the police had removed the camera. And I heard, you know, some years after Abdullah Wimmer was raped by the police in the Brooklyn police precinct in the bathroom, there was another guy that claimed the police used their baton to rape him. I believe around that Prospect Park Q train station, you know. So So they were trying to do it again to someone like me. I'm gay. I was born a boy, I'm not a girl. So around that 2019, July 2019, you know, the MTS already concocted a plan to help me on behalf of Me Too, because I was trying to get Me Too lawyer arrested for bribing the police to arrest R. Kelly and Weinstein. You know, so they said the MTA has a lot of in-house lawyers and their former prosecutor, so they concocted a plan to set up a program to kill me another program and not make it look like they were just trying to kill me. They were make it look like they were just trying to get rid of 50 homeless. They had pinpointed and targeted as a threat to the subway. I wasn't a threat to the subway, so they were causing people to attack me on the subway and make it look like I like to get into fight and get the people to kill me, make it look like, you know. So, and also get the police to arrest me, because anytime someone wants to fight me, I just call 911. So they say, no, they're not going to be able to kill me by getting in a fight. I call 911, I come on the train, and I tell myself as a victim of xenophobia, and I said, I believe this xenophobia is being fueled by Trump's anti-immigrant rhetoric, because Trump also owes me money. I used to go gamble in his casino in 2011 in Taj Mahal, Atlantic City, and I won a lot of money there in this casino, and instead of paying me my money, they called the police to kick me out of this casino after I just came out of the bathroom.
Stand clear of the closing door.
You know, and I recorded the Wednesday, I said I was going to sue Trump. And then I came back to New York. Eric Garner said I was going to help me with all my cases. And I saw the post when I killed Eric Garner. And then somebody loved me to come to Trump's house. In front of Trump's house, said, listen, around 2014, Christmas, said they're giving out gifts. As soon as I arrived at Trump's house, Trump showed up like 5 minutes later in his black SUV and almost hit me with his car. And people were screaming, that's Trump in his car trying to hit me. You know, so I'm going to be surveillance to the FBI surveillance. So, and soon Trump posted that if we shoot somebody from Fifth Avenue and get away with it and still become president. And what's her name? Hillary was saying Trump was being hated by the Russians. It was a Russian puppet. And Trump was the only one that made that post. That no matter what is going to be in the election, and it did win the election. So I wasn't so sure it was going to win. You know, and it was like it said,
Stand clear of the
law
closing
enforcement
door.
coming in America under Obama, around 2016, 2017, all came to the conclusion that the Russians interfered with the election. They said the Russians have a history of hacking into other people's, other countries' computer and doing whatever they want. You know, and this Trump also, they said he won in a very suspicious way through the Electoral College. Hillary won the popular vote for, they say, one of the Electoral College states. The vote went for Trump. And they were investigating right away. There was a special prosecutor set up, and they said Trump was deleting all of his laptop was just communicating with Russia, with surrendering. And the special prosecutor Ken Starr, I think that was the one that prosecutor Clinton well, the special prosecutor then filed a report with the Congress saying Trump obstructed the investigation over the Russian. They couldn't submit evidence, the evidence. So the Senate and the U.S. Congress had him impeached, but they didn't have enough votes to remove him from office. So it was impeached twice for obstruction of justice. You know, but it's just so much. So, you know, now I just dive into so many areas. So the main point is the MTA, they've had me raped, stolen my green card, on behalf of the Me Too. Yeah, so on July 20, 2019, you know, I went to use the bathroom at the Prospect Park train station, and the gang invaded the bathroom. Well, as I was there, they were using a smoke bomb, turn the hot water on, you know, so high, the hot water was on like that. Turn the hand dryer on so high, and the whole bathroom was smoking hot on July 23rd, 2019 at the Prospect Park train station. There was no window, so I was recording everything. You know, I was like, can you turn off the hot water, turn off the hand dryer, and they left it so smoky. And there was somebody there saying, you know, they want it like that, they want it smoke. I said, look, this is dangerous. I said, somebody just died in the bus. I was reading about it on the way to the bathroom in the newspaper. You know, say somebody just died of heat exhaustion in the summer. There was no window. I said, why are you all torturing me like I'm a Guantanamo Bay prisoner? I said this pattern of not letting me use the bathroom, like creating all kinds of hostile torture. They say in Guantanamo Bay that we put restraints on people's breathing, you know, blindfold them, dump them in the water with handcuffs. I said, anytime I'm trying to use the bathroom, y'all create a distraction, bring the police in the bathroom, and I have me unable to relieve my colon, so my colon will rupture. People like Elvis Presley allegedly died in the bathroom because he was constipated. A woman also died in America. She was trying to use the bathroom and a colon rupture because she couldn't find the bathroom to use. So anytime I'm using the women's bathroom, they'll create a distraction. This MTA, I guess some of them are former federal agents that torture people in Guantanamo. I would just suspect that. You know, they'll create a distraction and use the bathroom and have diarrhea. And they decided to use a smoke bomb. You know, in 2019, as Trump was deporting immigrants in July, they started to use a smoke bomb, and the whole bathroom was filled with smoke. They turned the hot water on, left it running at high temperature. It was summer day, and they turned the hot dryer on. You know, I think they might even turn the heat on. So the whole bathroom was smoking hot. I was sweating. I was about to pass out. So I was recording everything. There was smoke everywhere. And the woman that was helping them do that, I told her, can you please turn everything off? She was like, no, this is the way she likes to use the bathroom. Smoking hot. In the summer. So I recorded, I said, you are going to be arrested. I said, there's something wrong with you. You know, I didn't call 911 right away because anytime I call 911, the police would try to attack me in that place. And I heard they raped a guy in that station, or around that station, after they finished raping Abdullah Wimmer. Put a stick in the guy's bottom. It was a Spanish guy. So, and they already removed the camera, ready for action to rape me in the bathroom. So I escaped from the bathroom, and I took the Q train to DeKalb Avenue on that day, July 20, 2019. Then from DeKalb Avenue, I took the out train to J Street, and the Spanish MTA workers surrounded me. So you're done today. You're done today. I brought my phone out to record. I'm saying, there's a Spanish guy pointing at me, saying, you're done today. I said, a guy was raped in Prospect Park, in the bathroom also, close to that time period. So I said, you know. So I started recording. I said, I don't know what is going on. And later that day, I went back to Berridge Avenue, where I normally beg for money. And they normally send Black American kids to spit at me when I get into the train station. Berridge Avenue, where I stand outside to beg for money. And the kids, after I finish begging for money, the kids will try to rob me, start spitting on me. And the police officer, an African police officer, woman that observed the situation, told me she's not going to help me either. You know, that she's in that area. That she can go down there. Even a guy pulled a SWAT on me in that area. You know, put a SWAT on me. But, you know, and I reported everything to the Internal Service Bureau that the police doesn't help me. People are pulling SWAT on me. Some Muslims are pulling SWAT on me. You know, to rage bait me. And the Black American guy answering the phone, the Internal Service Bureau, kept hanging up on me. So I can't understand your accent. You're talking about, boom, I hang up again. You know, so I went back to that area. I thought, you know, I have enough evidence saved in my phone. If anything should happen, you know, they're going to arrest them. So I went back to that area, and as I was begging for money, a guy came and slapped me. Boom! July 2019. You know, so I was like, oh my goodness, you guys started again. You put a SWAT on me in this area. You have Black American kids trying to push me to the train tracks, spit on me in this area. You know, so I was complaining, not knowing I was being rage bait, and the police surrounded me as I was complaining. Said, we heard you were complaining. I said, yeah. I said, I've been calling 911 all year round. I'm being jumped. And the police slammed me on the floor. I hit my head on the floor. I said, you're crazy. You're complaining. I said, guy just slapped me. And they put me down, stole my luggage with green card, thousands of dollars. People used to give me $100 bill, $50 bill. I used to pay for money. I had thousands of dollars saved up to buy a house. And they stole everything from me once and locked me up in the NY Psychiatric Hospital, July 20, 2019. That 23rd is synonymous with my mother's daughter's son's birthday, Flora. She has a son called Ainde J, you know, that was born on December 23rd. You know, and my mother said one of her daughters was sexually abused in America, so they may have been part of the Me Too also. But that Me Too wasn't formally set up then. You know, but they may have been underground. Oh, yeah, they were set up then already. But my mother was saying, why my mother was alive in 2015, Me Too wasn't set up. And my mother was saying Adora was moving like narcotic gang in Pennsylvania. Adora Bolani, she was born in New York, but she was living in Pennsylvania. And she was like, that gang is like a strange gang. You know, they do drugs and stuff. And soon they poisoned my mother with like counterfeit poison. And my mother fled to New York to treat the heart attack symptoms she was experiencing from the drug, from the poison. And the ones came to New York also. My mother didn't tell them what hospital she was in. She was wondering, how did her daughter get the information about her whereabouts? What hospital she was in? My mother didn't tell them what hospital she was in. They must have put a tracker in my mother's back. And they told the hospital to lock my mother up, lock my mother up. Even though my mother wasn't crazy, but my mother speaks with a Nigerian accent. Her daughter speaks with like a Pennsylvania accent. You know, so the hospital decided to treat my mother like she was crazy, even though she passed the mental health test, went and locked her up. They said in the past, you know, they always used to abuse blacks, especially Africans, you know, that don't speak American English. They were subjected to the worst treatment. And this is some black Americans always accused foreigners of sounding crazy. You know, like it's like Little Kim would insult Nicki Minaj and Drake, saying they sound crazy when they speak. Even Wendy Williams used to insult Naomi Campbell. That English sounds crazy. So I don't know if it's just a xenophobic thing to think. I said, and I heard that people sometimes say that when immigrants speak English, we sound like we're mentally retarded. The way we pronounce words different. So they've been trying to frame me up as a crazy immigrant also. I guess because of my accent, they've locked me up in the mental ward on July 2019. They say sometimes when you provoke an immigrant and their accent comes fully out, it makes them sound, their different accent, it makes them sound inaudible, and you can just frame them up as speaking gibberish. And even a black American, NYPD hung up the phone after calling 911. And they telling them that the police are harassing me in the subway and they're threatening to kill me in the subway and steal all my stuff. And he hung up on me multiple times. The tenants of police, it was a black American. He said, I don't understand what you're saying. Your accent is so thick. So, you know, I was hanging up on him. He said, what are you saying? You're talking like you're crazy. You know? So they said that you know, Americans that stereotype immigrants as crazy because of they said, you know, they don't understand our accents, and some Americans have difficulty understanding accent of foreigners. You know, and they've been framing up as crazy when I try to sound as clear as possible. You know, and they were even taunting me before then. They were leaving. So some people say I speak with a fake American accent sometimes. You know. They accused me of that, and then the Nigerian system comes out. And they went and put a graffiti in the bathroom, 14th Street bathroom, on the airline, saying "Die soon, poser." Soon after the police came arrested me. And you know, and the police were baiting me. Any bathroom I used to use the bathroom at the train station on Port Street, number 2 train, near Eric Adams' office. I used to go to that area because I had a court case I was filing against the police, and Eric Garner was helping me with that court case. And the person that took Eric Garner didn't Staten Island. So I used to, after the killer Eric Garner, I used to go back to that area. I used the bathroom at train station, number 2 train. And the police would come and drive me out of the women's bathroom. And I'm going across the street. Eric Adams was the borough president then of Brooklyn. And I go across the street, and I was talking on the sidewalk. The police are harassing me. I was hoping this Eric Adams could hear my voice and help me, you know. And I was saying, in Iowa, they're letting undocumented immigrants get driver's license. I say in Ohio, they're letting an immigrant from Nigeria just became mayor. I said New York City needs to welcome immigrants to us. I feel like Iowa and Ohio. And some of the staff of Eric Adams was the borough president that pushed that 2019. We told me to leave the sidewalk, you know, they want to hear my voice. And so the police came and arrested me in July 2018. They were rage baiting me, used a smoke bomb and their gang member to smoke bomb the bathroom I was using, left the hot water on for a long time, left the handrail on for a long time, and the whole bathroom was smoking hot. As I was trying to use the bathroom after a year, and I couldn't breathe in that bathroom, so I had to leave, you know. And the gang member they used to smoke bomb, you know, was telling me that's the way they like to use the bathroom, was steamy hot. And I recorded everything, and I was going to post the video online. And then I left. I quickly left that bathroom. Took the Q train that Prospect Park station to DeKalb Avenue, transfer to the R. Then when I got to J Street, you know, an MTA worker, a Spanish guy, came towards me, saying, you're done today, you're done today. And I tried to record it, but my phone didn't quickly turn on, and I recorded his backside. I still have that phone on me, so they can try to steal that phone. It's been smashed into pieces, but I still have it on me. So this is why I have a breast pocket, you know, where I hide phone. This is why they're trying to arrest me. And they've been selling people to lie that all my phones belong to other people. You know, so that they will try to bar me from presenting that phone in court. You know, saying that phone was, you know, say I normally steal phone. And they came to the bathroom to arrest me on November 14, 2025. They did synonymous with one of my daughter's birthday also. Bolanle, she was born August 14. You know, and when they killed Eric Garner, they paid the Eric Garner family $5.9 million. One of my mother's daughters, Star Flora, says she's 5'9", but always lies to people that she's 5'10". So through the immigration surveillance of me, they have they're able to hear interaction I make with my family. And it seems the city of New York knew Eric Garner was killed for trying to help me. He was killed on a day synonymous with my birthday. You know, I was born on July 8th and they killed Eric Garner on July 17th. I used to go to Black American Church in Manhattan, Bishop Jeremy Ministries. And he said the number 8 is very important to God. He does great things on the 8th. I said even the number 17, God regards as 8 because God does like double digit. You know, and I used to go to another church in Nigeria when I was in Nigeria called the Synagogue Church. So that church was premised on the belief that Nigerians are Israelites also. And he said when they killed Eric Garner, one of the police officers that went to kill him wore a shirt with the inscription DD. I believe Hitler used to use that inscription DD, meaning death to the Jews. Used to mark the calendar. You know, so those are the times they killed Eric Garner on purpose, and they killed them where I just met Eric Garner on Bay Street and Victory Boulevard. At the same spot, that's what they took me there. You know, and they paid the Eric Garner family $5.9 million settlement. I said, why did they choose $5.9 million? Why did they choose 3.9 or 4.9? Why not an old number? So one of my mother's daughters that killed my mother, her name is Flora. She used to tell me she's 5 feet 9 inches tall, but she always lies to people that she's 5 feet 10. You know. So the Eric Garner family and the city of New York knew Eric Garner was killed for trying to help me, and nobody would help me, and they leave me on the street. So they're using the money of the city of New York to pay people to keep quiet as this police continue to kill more blacks. You know, so this is outrageous. So the New York State Commission on Ethics and Lobbying in Government, please arrest all these people. My life is not safe. They're using the MTA to groom me for abuse, telling the police to attack me in the bathroom, lie on me, I'm doing drugs, they threaten me they're going to do that. That's why they're going to kill me with a taser. And people have been luring me home that I'm not going to be safe in the subway. I should come to their house and they will rape me. You know, even though I just need a place to use the bathroom, I always tell people, please, I just want to pay to use the bathroom. You know, this has happened to me more than 2 times now, about 2 times now.
Stand clear of the closing
People
door.
that would lure me to their house and come use the bathroom and will rape me or attempt to rape me in the bathroom. They've stolen my green card. I'm from Nigeria. They killed Eric Garner while he was trying to help me, and they bribed his family with $5.9 million. My mother's daughter, her name is Flora, she's 5 feet 9 inches tall, but she told me she always lies to people that she's 5'10". You know, so they're all forming a collusion around me, you know, and I guess they are trying to have leverage over each other in case anybody snitches in the future. So they're getting leverage by claiming, you know, that they're all in the cover-up of Eric Garner's death together. They paid his family $5.9 million. His family doesn't want to help him get justice either. Asham doesn't want to help him get justice. And this Eric Garner knows the family. I don't know whether I got paid out of that $5.9 million. And he was trying to get me killed. So the police used to attack me in front of Eric Garner's office while he was born president, close to 2019. I used to go to use the bathroom. I'm across the street from the station. is his office, Borough President office at Cross Street Station, number 2 train.
Stand
The
clear of
women's
the
bath, I put
closing
some friend
doors,
about to
please.
me out. They don't bother the black Americans. So I go across the street and stand in front of Eric Adams' office, because I knew he was the borough president. I didn't know him personally, but I was reading, he always was civil rights cases. As I was saying, the police should stop abusing me as an immigrant, and I was speak out loud that in Ohio, when Nigerian like me just became mayor, and I said in Iowa there are lots of undocumented immigrants because to get driver's license. And soon the police arrested me on Bay Ridge Avenue, choked me, stole my green card, stole all my ID, and locked me up in the psych ward. And this I kind of congratulated the police 2 weeks later while he was borough president. And after my green card and everything was stolen. And it went to on a day like that was known as my mother's birthday. I don't know, they're obsessed with my mother's birthday. My mother's postmortem birthday. My mother was born on January 19. And Ricardo went to Harlem during the COVID. And on January 20, I believe 2020, at Apollo Theater in Harlem. And he was repeating the same thing I used to say. He said, and it was to mock me. He said, now you go back to Ohio, you go back to Iowa. He said, you outsiders will never be welcome to New York. He said, New York belongs to us. We're the real New Yorkers. He said, we're not going to tolerate you, And at that time, the police was withholding my green card, wouldn't return my green card, wouldn't return my ID, wouldn't return thousands of dollars. And just soon after that, I was trying to get people to arrest them. There's police policy of stop and frisk. Because the police removed me from my home in 2010 without a court order, and they killed every gunner using that policy of going after people on the street for the most minor thing. And because Arizona wasn't so sensitive that day, you see the police came there to arrest him and kill him. And one of the police wore a t-shirt saying Didi, which Hitler used to mark any day he kills a Jew as dead day to the Jew in his diary. So I was going to a Nigerian church that was premised on the belief that Nigerians are Jews also. It's called the synagogue church. So this one is going on. So please, they're trying to kill me. Anybody watching this video, the New York State Commission on Ethics and Lobbying the government, please, you gotta help me. This is very serious. And by helping me, you could help some of the Ugandans killing and my mother's killing. So please, they're turning up the heat on the train and they're about to kill more people on the train. So this subway service is being hijacked. The last time I contacted you, they had a black American guy, threatening me. He was playing a song loud on his phone. He was a very tall, strong black American guy. I thought he was about to beat him and kill me. And he was singing a song loud from his phone, saying, I would get down, trips to the DR. It was an MTA thug. They've been hiring MTA thugs to be punching Africans in the face. I was on the number 2 train like this, and I was sitting in the conductor's booth, and there were these black Americans talking about their life in Rikers Island prison and stuff. And there were this old African sleeping and was snoring, and the conductor was driving in his booth. I was in the conductor's booth on number 2 train. And then all of a sudden, it was a black American conductor on the 2 train. And the black American conductor saying, go Brooklyn, go Brooklyn, go. And when he was shouting, and the black American thugs knew what he was saying. Because there was an African guy that was, his head was slanted with his mouth open and was snoring out loud. And the black American thugs was telling the conductor, say, stop inciting us. I was saying, go Brooklyn, you can do it. And the black American thugs went to the African guy, boom, punch him, and they ran away. And I went to the African guy, I saw people that punched him. And the African guy was afraid, was just running, screaming. So I told the conductor, please stop the train. You were inciting people to punch an African. As they called 911, call the police. I said, stop calling the police. So I recorded all that. So I have the phone safe in my chest pocket. So this is why they've been hiring black Americans to say all the phones I'm using are stolen from black Americans. And the police came and arrested them in the bathroom. Said, all the phones I'm using, I'm stealing from black Americans. I was that person. I said, this is not even funny. And I was trying to explain to the police that all my phone I buy on Target store. I said my phone is connected to the Google browser, which is my email account. I say, I'm trying to arrest some of these black Americans that been accusing me of stealing their phone. I said since a black American was beaten up in Manhattan during COVID, a boy after a Spanish woman, a white Spanish woman, accused him of stealing the phone. And which a Uber driver brought the phone back to her, and as they said, she had dropped it in the Uber that same day while she was right, the Uber that brought her to the hotel. And at the lobby, she was looking for her phone after she had ordered the lobby. And she saw a black American holding an iPhone also. So she attacked the boy, thought the iPhone was hers, and was beating up the boy. In Manhattan, and she fled to California, and they had to extradite her. So at any bad thing that happens to the black American, whether George Floyd getting killed, whether a black American boy getting killed, getting beat up over a cell phone that he didn't even steal, the black Americans try to reenact that crime and all those crimes all day. When I go to shopping Target store, the store workers try to get me, jump, holding their nose, calling the police that I smell no one to attend to me. And the police there, she's like a gang member also. So we get on the store, get me. I said, no, excuse me, you're not supposed to be rude to me. And treat me like an animal. And they were just trying to provoke me so the police can pick me up and kill me. And say, I'm refusing their order. And even when I try to come to the store sometimes, the black American workers will let me in. I said, why? She said, I can't tell you why. And you've been laughing, all the black Americans laughing. So they're trying to get me angry. And as I heard they stabbed a Spanish guy also in front of that store. There was the time also, around 2021 December, I went to that area. I bought a cell phone there, and I was trying to connect it to a Simple Mobile, and the Simple Mobile said that my cell phone has been blocked. I said, I just bought it. I said, what's going on? And they said, I have to go back to the store. They said, it's like the store reported this phone stolen. I'm like, I paid for the phone. What is all this? Everybody claiming I'm stealing their phone. The store claiming I'm stealing their phone. Black Americans cannot steal their phone. Since the black American boy was beat up wrongfully by a white Spanish woman during the COVID years, and the white Spanish woman saw the black American boy with the iPhone, and she had just arrived at the hotel from the Uber, and she thought it was an iPhone, it was older. Not knowing she had mistakenly dropped her iPhone on the Uber and was beating up the boy trying to grab the iPhone from her. Only for the taxi driver to come and give her a phone back. And she left in the Uber, and she immediately fled to California, and they extradited her. As any bad thing that happens to black American, the black American try to beat up. So, since that time, anywhere I go, black Americans will say, claim the black American gang members say I stole their phone. When I called the police was in the room, and then they sent me to find the phone. Even one of the police officers, I was using the bathroom at a place called, a place where this after 9/11, an immigrant drove his car. While 9/11 was going on, an immigrant drove his car, and in that park called Pier 25 Park. I hate people to kill more people as 9/11 was going on. So in that park, most it always bothered me, call the police on me. And they brought a mulatto looking black American in Spanish, and he said, she left her cell phone in the back room. And somebody said, I took it. He said, like, many people that come to the back room, how would you know it's me? The janitor described me. I said, that many people come to the back room, I take their phone. And she said she wants to, she wants to try to buy all my phones to her. I said, I have multiple phones on me, I can't do all my phones to her. So I called 911. She said, don't call 911. And she came with a huge looking black American bill. So I called 911, the police came. And the share the bill was accosting me like they were about to choke me dead. This was after they got killed, during the COVID years. So I was trying to avoid them, and they were surrounding me. There was a huge looking black American male, and it chased me in front of moving cars at the West Side Highway, where during 11, a Muslim guy drove his car into that park and killed more Americans at the 9/11. And he was shouting Allah Akbar. I was killing more Americans. So every time I go to that park, the black Americans and other people, Americans, were trying to kill me in that park. They revenge for that Muslim guy. So they're terrorizing me. So I called 911. I said, these black Americans are chasing in front of moving cars. It's like a mulatto looking black American woman with a black American male that was muscular. I said, she's been laughing, and it's crazy. and then the police came, and then she was laughing with the police, and I believe she told them that due to the Eric Adams policy that says they want all homeless locked up in mental ward, and she was telling the police that she made up that lie that her cell phone was stolen just to get me angry and get me locked up, and so the police told me the truth that she made up the lie of a stolen cell phone just to get me to go to the psych ward because I was homeless. So I said, that's a big lie. She was chasing me in front of the West Side Highway with her boyfriend, and I believe they were trying to choke me, and kill me and get me around by their cars. I said a Muslim during 9/11 drove his car off of the West Side Highway and came into the park to kill more Americans and was shouting Allah Akbar. I said, this is terrorism, I said, I want a police report. The police told me, nah, we're not going to give you a police report. He said, but if you keep insisting, we would lock you up in a mental ward. Because he said, so that's when I left the area and I called 911 back. There's a black American woman that was a mulatto looking with a black American male. They were trying to kill me over false accusation. I said, there's been a gang threatening me that they're going to be killing Africans and making false accusations, just like the way their black American sisters was killed with false accusations all over the place after Africans sold them to the white. There was a boy called Mattel. He was from Chicago and he went to Mississippi, and a white woman accused him of sexually heckling at her. And I think back then there was a law against white and black having romance, and she got him up to kill him. And they said like 2 years ago the woman admitted she was still alive and it was a nursing home. She admitted she lied on Mattel. Mississippi, but the prosecutors declared to prosecute her, so they said she was too old. So this one is going on. So please donate to my Cash App, non-conditional charitable donation to my Cash App NYC Homeland. So please, New York State Commission on Ethics and Lobbying Government, by helping me, you can unravel all of the murder cover-ups of Eric Garner, my mother, and so many other crimes. And so please, I've also been contacting you on Instagram since last year, and you don't respond back to me. So there's so much, there's so much to talk about. Well, we're going to talk about it in court. And for everybody watching, I would appreciate your non-conditional charitable donation to my Cash App NYC. My phone battery is about to die. It's been 1 hour of being recorded. There's so much more to say. And I solemnly swear the United States Treasury laws and U.S. Constitution and other relevant laws that I'm seeking non-conditional charitable humanitarian donation to my Cash App NYC Homeless and or to me in person, or student loan with applicable interest rate that is similar to the rate commercial banks in New York City charge for student loan, or the United States government charges for student loan.
Stand clear of the closing door.
And I'm not seeking surrogacy, and or I'm not seeking marriage with anyone, and or I'm not seeking membership in any cult or gang, whether religious, sexual, or social gang, and or I'm not seeking membership in any violent cult either. A guy told me I look like a fighter on the Mortal Kombat video game. I say he likes to fight also. Yeah, I said my mask is really like a fighter. And I told him, I'm not really and I was afraid they were trying to lock me to his house and make me kill me and take my sperm. There was a court here, upstate, Sarah Lawrence court, where a white guy was raping women and claimed the women were constant, agreed to the rape, and they signed a waiver not to sue him. But the feds arrested the white guy, said he got the women to agree on that arrest, and they were able to arrest and convict him. But I'm afraid if they kill me, the jury may not know that I did consent to any rape. And there's some people that threatening me that they're going to kill me and claim I hired them to be my surrogates and inherit any money, potential lawsuit money, especially from the U.S. immigration that arrested me wrongfully as a child, and the NYPD taking my home, So this was being targeted by Black American gang. And you know, places like
Stand clear of the closing doors.
Target store on Atlantic Avenue, there are gang members there that jumped me and they killed a Spanish guy that was sitting in front of the Target store, Atlantic Terminal. And also I bought a phone there in Target store. As soon as I tried to connect it, around December 2021, as soon as Eric Adams became mayor, he was going to take over office in January and December 2000, and it was already saying he's going to lock up all the homeless. So this was inciting gang members to attack me because the police, Eric Adams congratulated the police for taking my green card and for arresting me and locking up on the sidewalk by saying on my mother's birthday, around my mother's birthday, my mother was born on January 19th. But January 21, COVID was going on 2020. He went to Apollo Theater to mimic what I normally say in a mocking way. Say, you know, you go back to Ohio, you go back to Iowa, New York is not going to welcome you outsiders. Say you don't belong here. We New Yorkers have been here for generations. We are the real New Yorkers that belong here. So at that time, when Eric Adams was still borough president, I used to use the bathroom in the train station, women's bathroom number 220, across his office as borough president. And the police would come and drive me in the bathroom, leave the Black Americans in the bathroom. And I used to complain in front of his office that in Ohio, they let Nigeria become mayor. I said, Ohio, they let undocumented immigrants have driver's license. And Eric Adams is close to the police, he used to be a police officer, a captain, you know. And he formed the Black American Police movement, you know, and the Black American Police would be part of the gang that was attacking me and luring their fellow police officers that are white or Spanish to also join in. And when I called 911 to report, a Black American Internal Affairs Bureau worker, police officer, hung up on me saying he doesn't understand my accent. You know, so my accent sounds crazy. Yeah, and they were just rape baiting me so they can kill me. They said it's how they kill Black Americans in America. Whether it's Ahmaud Marbury, whether it's George Floyd, they will get them angry and the police will call them police and choke them dead. You know, so in 2021, they were rape baiting me. In December, I went to buy the phone at Target store, and I was trying to connect the phone to Simple Mobile. And the Simple Mobile, I was calling using the payphone. I was using the free internet kiosk link server phone on that Atlantic Avenue area near the Target store to call. And you know, and the Simple Mobile was menacing me. He said, you know, the store doesn't show you as paying for the phone. I used to take the phone back to the store. I said I lost the receipt as soon as I bought the phone. They said, you know, the store hasn't activated the phone, so we can't connect you. I said, yeah, I bought the phone. They gave me a receipt, and they were supposed to activate the phone for me, but they told me the store was about to close. I should go activate it myself. I said, you know, and the Simple Mobile was like, the store didn't release the phone to be activated, so you have to take the phone back into the store. I was like, trying to lure me to get accused of stealing. I said, I bought the phone since a few days ago, and I already lost the receipt. You know, and the Simple Mobile worker was like, no, you take the phone back to the store. I was like, can you please connect me with the store, you know, through the phone, because I don't want to walk into the store and George Floyd just got killed. I don't want to be lured into the store and then accuse me of stealing the phone. I said, I'd rather handle this over the phone. You know, and then they can look through their computer system, because when I bought the phone in that 2021, close to December, you know, I said, I paid and they generated a receipt by scanning the phone in their computer system. And I said, I don't know why after I lost the receipt, the store now reports, now puts a block on the phone, said the phone hasn't been sold yet. I said, please, this was like the Target store workers. They love they've been trying to get me killed like George Floyd because I've been getting threatened. I said, please, Simple Mobile, connect me with the store over the phone with you so that they can look into their computer system and use my phone serial number to look into their computer system to see if receipt was generated so they can leave the block. As soon as I was talking to some Black American kids, attacked me from behind, were kicking me, hitting me, you know, and they had so I ran across the street to hide in the store, and they came with a metal pipe, broke down the store glass. This was December 2021. So the store when I called 911, I called 911 also. I noticed the guy was recording it, You know, it was with a Jamaican accent. So I was like, so I called 911 also. And I told 911 there's some black American female kids that kicking me. And the kids shouted something suspicious. They're like, we're not black Americans, we're Trinidad. We're from Trinidad. So I was like, you know, so I didn't really pay attention to what they say. So I kept calling them black Americans. And the kids were screaming as they were kicking me. Said, we're not black Americans, we're Trinidadians. So I was like, you know, why would these kids want to clarify their nationality? Why would they want to be put in trouble? You know, so the store owner and me called where I ran across the street. Cars was about to hit me. Swerving left or right, with the little babies in the car. And these kids were endangering my life. They were trying to lynch me. You see this how black Americans were lynched. The white people would chase them in front of cars, beat them up. So there's a black American bomb. They said they're going to be killing Africans like that. You know, that it's their time to shine under Trump's first presidency, as Trump was deporting a lot of Africans. You know, so that December 2021. You know, so the the Trinidadian kids, the Southern American kids, chased me in front of moving cars. That I believe that street is called Atlantic Avenue in the store. And I ran into a store and they broke down the glass into the store, tried to get in access with the metal pole they were holding in their hand, and there was a guy that came with them. The kids, I was recording everything. You know, I guess they wanted to show me on a website called World Star Hip Hop to show an African getting a gay African getting beaten to death by black American kids. You know, they were going to, because this Eric said he's going to become mayor in a few days. It was December 2021, and he said he's going to arrest all the homeless. And he said the mayor appoints the criminal judges. You know, and you know, so they were going to beat me alive with a metal pole. I was recording it, you know, and they were going to let the kids get away with it, because I believe those kids may be connected to Eric Adams also. You know, it was part of the movement saying, you are foreigners, go back to where you belong. You don't belong in New York. After the police stole my green card, ambushed me. You know, so now I'm not a black American, some black American gangs wanted to beat me with a stick alive to show the anti-gayness and anti-Africanness. You know, and there's a white store worker, a store owner, saw the kids were hitting the store, breaking the store glass with a metal pole. The guy was recording it, and the store owner called 911, let me hide in that store in downtown Brooklyn near the Tiger store and Nets basketball stadium. You know, and I was terrified. I was calling 911 also, and I was saying they are black American kids, and the kids kept screaming, we're not black Americans, we're Trinidadians. So that's very important. They were, you know, trying to cover up their intent, because I've been having problems with black Americans jumping me. So if I'm killed by people that are black Americans, the courts can easily seize the hit man. So they were going to use people from Trinidad. So clearly these people are not really xenophobic, their parents as foreigners also. So that was the cover-up. You know, it was December 2021, and this Eric Adams has incited this gang to be attacking homeless, saying he's going to lock up all the homeless in mental ward. You know, it was leaving messages to the media like that. You know, so it started in earnest. You know, before I even became mayor, I was going to become mayor January 1, and in December, this is what hitting me with metal pole, you know, chasing me from a moving car. So I went and hid in a white owned store, and the store owner called 911 also. Yeah, the police arrived, and the store owner asked for a police report. They saw the police. The kids were still holding the metal pipe in their hand, and they used to smash the store window, you know. And the police did like this to the store owner and said no report. And I told the police, please, I need a report also. Don't decline. And the police told me, you know, we're not giving any of you police report. So you go where you leave the area. And they told the kids to leave the area, and they told the store owner to go back into the store. I was like, this is crazy. Why don't you want to give a police report? You know, soon afterwards, those gangs killed a Spanish guy sitting in front of Tiger store, stabbed him there like 2 years ago, and they had those gangs always punch me, beat me up in that area. And when I called 911, the police would just mock me, saying you must be getting punched by ghosts. I said, anytime I fall asleep anywhere around that area, you know, I have my demons sometimes I fall asleep when I'm tired. You know, I know that I enjoy danger, but sometimes I just can't help it. I fall asleep. You know, I said those kids will arrive and start punching
Stand
me.
clear of the
And when I
closing
call
doors,
911,
please.
the police will tell me, if you're asleep, how would you know you're getting punched? I said, I woke up to getting punched, and I saw the kids chasing me, you know, and I said, if I'm going to look to the cycle, I think you're just imagining. I said, the police camera records it. And soon after that, there was a Spanish guy that sat around that area, and those kids came by and stabbed him dead. And his mother's been trying to get justice. At the Brooklyn DA's office, I've been telling them to please help me, you know, and get justice. And the Brooklyn DA's office is not helping me. I send them email and everything. But since I contacted your office, do your commission for on ethics and lobbying the government for the first time ever, one guy named Anthony called me from the Brooklyn DA's office. After I sent an email, I just called the office, and he told me they can't help me either. I should contact the U.S. Immigration. I said, I should contact U.S. Immigration to help me about black Americans and gangs stabbing people dead, trying to kill me. You know? He said, yes, contact U.S. Immigration. I said, are you threatening me? And he hung up the phone. I called him back 6 after. He said, I can't help you. We don't offer services to people directly, only people the police is already helping. I said, the police are part of the gang, harassing, covering up, you know. Jumping down kind of contact U.S. Immigration. On that Trump, the U.S. Immigration is not helping the immigrant. My green card has been stolen. So it's like threatening me with with deportation. Because, you know, they said, Trump said he wants to deport immigrants. They put a ban on processing visa applications from Nigeria. So they can't even go against that ban and give me a new green card after my old one has been stolen. You know, so this is what is going on. They're harassing me. Sometimes they have their psychiatric nurses come and stare me down and whatnot. You know. So the New York State Commission on Ethics and Lobbying the Government. So if you help me, you can help resolve the murder of Eric Garner, who was trying to help me against the police in court, and they went and took him dead. You know. And so after that incident in December 2021, where some Trinidadian girls, high school girls, were kicking me with their leg, and there was a guy recording. You know, I didn't know who sent those girls. All of a sudden, I used to follow a black American basketball player on Instagram. He's from California. He plays in the same team with Adeto Kubo, a great Nigerian basketball player. I can't remember the name of the black American basketball player right now. He was born in California, you know, but he plays in another city now. With Adeto Kubo. So this basketball player went on Instagram after those kids kicked me in the leg, or kicked me with their leg, and was saying congratulations Thunderleg. And he had he posted that message near the image of a female basketball player. You know. And you know, so and I became suspicious because Thunderleg is not real American English, it's not even English at all. It's a phrase, a coin, you know. It's like gang speak, because at that time I was using a Thunder VPN, and because I was noticing people were hacking into my phone and stealing important videos from me before I could post it to my Google Drive, you know. And so at that time, that VPN wasn't working. And this basketball player from California, who now plays with the team that features Adeto Kubo, you know, tried to lure me into some human trafficking, because he appeared on a with an Instagram. He appeared on with an Instagram user named Wallow, and
And that wallow, it's interesting. It looks like my father, because that's my father. But my father was also killed as a suicide weapon. My father was killed in the It said somebody stabbed them with an injection, and he died in the hospital. And it's very interesting. As soon as I was trying to sue Trump, every guy I was going to help me was because I used to go to Trump's hotel in 2011, Atlantic City, Taj Mahal, and I won a lot of money, and he didn't pay me the money. I won the hotel, didn't pay me because of it. And the U.S. Congress right now said they want to investigate Trump for that incident. The name of the senator is Senator. I can't remember the name of the senator. It's so early in the morning. I'm usually sleeping by now, but the cold weather got me up. Mark Kelly, Senator Mark Kelly said they've got so many reports from different people around America. He said Trump used to took them in his hotel around 2011. After the win money, he wouldn't pay them the money back, and he filed bankruptcy, closed the hotel now, and destroyed the records. But I recorded them, and the FBI has no surveillance. That was 2011. As I went to use the bathroom, I came out, and they told me I have to leave the report police on me already. I said, I'm a customer, I win money in the casino. And they told me, no, I can't cash out my winnings. And they said they always use that kind of method to get rid of customers and not pay you what you win. So the U.S. Senator Mark Kelly said that he investigated Trump, this year, So back to what I was saying earlier, that they tried to stab me around December 2021. As soon as I got up on the radio stream, I said it was going to be locking up homeless disciples. And that's when they decided Black American gangs attacking me. And there's this basketball player who was born in California but plays for the same team in another city now. And then Tokumbo, and the young good player plays it. And soon as the kids who are used to attack me, December 2021, they call themselves Trinidad kids, kicking with their leg, chasing me in front of moving cars, and smashing a store window to pieces where I went to hide. Yeah, the police will give me police report, showing the police, working with Me Too gangs and all kinds of gangs, because I'm trying to get Me Too arrested also. Trying to kill me. I got Me Too lawyer girl said that she and the police are there all work together. We look against each other, and decided able to get criminal convictions against R. Kelly and against Weinstein. I'm like, this is a quid pro quo. I was trying to get her arrested, and it was me that was arrested by the first time. And so Mr. Ricardo said he was going to be, he was homeless to continue to be arrested as soon as he won the election in December 2021. And soon they sent a bunch of Trinidad girls to beat me up, and the police won't file a report, and since then those gangs have stabbed somebody dead in front of the Target store. I killed a Spanish guy like 2 years ago. His name is Michael Hernandez. And his mother's been crying and she wants to know how gangs are able to stab somebody that he came all the way from the Bronx. I was just like that area. I started from the Target store. I believe 2 years ago, 2024, something like that. Yeah, and I've been trying to work with the DA's office to implicate this police in the killing, but they would have helped me arrest the gangs before they killed Hernandez. And they always cover up. So the broken days of Michael, his name is Gonzalez. Broken day, helping protect the police, and even deny me crime victim shelter. And, I went to their office yesterday, family center, and they told me to go somewhere else. And then they told me I could come back this morning on Wednesday. I also have there's a cult also, there's a cult also, using birthdays to try to kill me. They killed a regard on the day synonymous with my birthday. I was born on July 8th, and they killed a regard on July 17th after I just met it. The same area where I met him. So there's a Black American church called the Bishop Jordan Ministry of Mahane, and they said people's birthday is very important because it determines their destiny. And they said people born on the 8th means they're marked for a great destiny. Like I said, anything 8 is spiritual. I said the number 17 also, 17th day of the month is spiritual. God regards it as 8 because God doesn't like double digit. So God, I work for 7. So the Wednesday I regard on July 17th, which is like synonymous with my birthday, July 8th. You know, so I was born on a Wednesday. So the Brooklyn DS office told me to come back today, Wednesday, January 28, 2020. They didn't even want to give me shelter service. They told me to go somewhere else today, Wednesday. So go to the general intake. So I'm like, I said, you offer shelter services to trafficking victims. Why would you want me to go elsewhere? Because I went there at 4 p.m. I said, it's too late to go anywhere. Why do you want me to go apply for shelter on a Wednesday? My mother was killed on a Wednesday also. I was born on July 8th, Wednesday. 1981. My mother was killed on a Wednesday, May 20, 2015. So there's there is a religious cult killing people on days that are important to me. They kill their daughter on the day that's regarded my birthday spiritually, July 17th. I was born on July, and my mother was killed on a Wednesday, May 20, 2015. I was born on a Wednesday because I used to go to a Black American church, and that pastor used to say, people's birthday is very important. God determines their destiny. And this Brooklyn DS office wants me to go get a shelter on Wednesday. I don't know if they plan to kill me in that shelter, so it will be like I'm part of a death pact. Because I also believe in resurrection, like Christians do. I guess they're trying to kill me in that shelter. I claim, I was part of a cult. I wanted to be killed, that's why I got a shelter on a Wednesday. So please investigate this as an attempt to kill me on behalf of the police. These gang members to kill me because these police have been hiring gangs to try to kill me. And they can just say, maybe kill me in the shelter. I came to the shelter on a Wednesday because, I wanted to be killed. I've been resurrected by the court. They said dead people don't tell. So this police, they said it's been reported also alleged that the police and correction officers hire gang members to kill people in prisons. People dead. The person's trying to file a report against the police. My mother also, she was trying to file a report against the Bellevue Hospital where she said they were mistreated as soon as her daughter escaped from mistreated and took the hospital to lock her up. And they killed my mother on a Wednesday, which is synonymous with my birthday. I was born on a Wednesday. So I believe these police and their gangs, they've been trying to traumatize me and committing terror attacks or threatening me with terror on days they know I would understand. Because they know Wednesday is my birthday, and I used to go to like a Black American church as like a numerologist, and he used to say people's birthday is very important to God. It determines their birthday determines their destiny. The born the eat, the born for a great destiny. So it's just so much. Just so much stuff back. To go to court.
Wakefield, 200.
My battery's about to die. It's almost 2 hours of being recorded. So there's this Black American basketball player.
Stand clear of the closing doors.
Damon Lillard, So as soon as the Black American kids, we call themselves Trinidad kids, attacked me on December 2021, kicked people with their leg, and I ran into a store and it broke down the store glass with a metal pipe, and there was a Jamaican guy recording, and I guess they wanted to play it online and make it and show an African being lynched, a gay African being lynched with a metal bar. And since they're kids, I guess they were just going away with it. Because Ricardo was set to be mayor days later on January 1, and they would have just said, they were just let them get away with it. Because those kids said, as I was crying out, one of those kids told me to corrected me, said they were from Trinidad. So I guess they were already laying their their self-defense, so that the jury wouldn't think it's a hate crime. See, those kids are also linked to immigrants, black immigrants, they're from Trinidad, like you said, so it wouldn't be considered a xenophobia attack. And if I just, take them to family court, I make it look like I'm crazy, because my mother said I should be careful. I don't supposed to frame up as crazy. I take over my estate money. I take over my money that was lost, potential also money, because I was trying to sue U.S. immigration. Everybody was going to help me. I just trying to everybody that. So this Devin leader was trolling me. After he tried to, they said I love this Hollywood and important personalities like PDD and Weinstein, they try to lure their victim to groom their victim, bring their victim closer. So I used to watch an Instagram user named Wallow. He looks like my father. I used to say things like he's talking about. Then all of a sudden he invited this Wallow, and this Wallow was saying he grew up poor. He now has a foundation to help homeless and gives them shoes. So he likes to help homeless. So at that time, because my feet is big, it's very hard for me to find the right shoes. So I contacted him right away, that if you're going to help me, and he didn't respond back to me, and I noticed a lot of these people, when I contact them online, after they try to lure a lot of the celebrities, they won't respond back to me online, and they will now come and meet me in person as I'm begging for money. So it's like they're trying to lure me to further speak with them, so they can just kidnap me and take me somewhere, and maybe rape me, take my sperm, and choke me dead, take my sperm, and raise a child, and they claim, I was the one that was always stalking them, and if I die, it was an accidental death. They never meant to kill me, they didn't even have any interest in me. It was just an happenstance. So I guess this was the game they were playing. They'll try to lure me with fake charity. So as I was homeless, needing assistance, homeless on the street during COVID, a lot of these black Americans, a lot of celebrities who appear on Instagram, posts I watch a lot, like this Wallow, and they say they're into charity also. But when I contact them, they wouldn't help me online, because I always issue a disclaimer that I'm not looking for marriage, I'm just looking for charity, but then they will start following me in person. Like this guy named Jim, he's a rapper, Jim Jones. His name sounds like the rapper, a Christian cult pastor that was killing people in his church, poisoning them, saying they're going to resurrect them. Like he was saying 1999 is the end of the world. So this Jim Jones, he seems to talk about me sometimes on Instagram post. So I contacted him during COVID, and can please help me with money, sir? I'm homeless and I need help. Then I started seeing on Chambers and Broadway, and I was begging for money and he ignored me. I guess he just wanted me to be more aggressive, and and maybe kidnap me, and make it look like I was the one that was interested in them. And then and then I noticed around that area, Chambers and Broadway area, or Chambers and Greenwich, I sometimes sit in front of the park, called the Washington Market Park. Late at night, I just watch
Attention everyone, this train will be taken out of service, so please exit.
And it's so cold. When I'm recording evidence like this to try to distract me, it's so cold, and I can't even wear my gloves because I'm recording stuff. We'll take the train out of service to leave in the cold. At the open air station.
241st.
And the temperature is like almost below zero right now. So to maybe get off the phone. So this MT is like the racketeering. There's snow on the ground. So I'm recording important evidence. So in case the phone call off, please go to my Cash App, NYC Homeless, and to be person or student loan to my Cash App, NYC Homeless, or to be person. And the student loan rate should be the type of rate the US government charges for student loan or commercial banks charge. in New York City for too long. You know. You know. So this Damon Lillard was trying to learn. And so back to the Jim Jones. You know.
This is the last stop on this train. Everyone, please leave the train. Thank you for riding with MTA New York City Transit.
Yeah, I'm trying to get up. You know, so back to the Jones. You know, so sometimes things talk about me on Instagram post. You know, so I contacted him and he didn't respond. They started coming around me on Chambers and Broadway. I can't even get it because they didn't open the door fully. So they try to use my own words against me. You know, they're so cold, I'm freezing. And they wouldn't open the door for me fully. Let me just hide it. So, you know. You know, you're supposed to, you know. So back to this Jim Jones. So sometimes he talks about me on his Instagram post about the thing. You know, so I contacted him, so it's like, sir, could you please help me? You know, I didn't help me during the COVID. They started coming around me by Chambers and Broadway. You know, and as I'm begging for money and they would ignore me. I guess they want me to be more aggressive to make it look like I was the one pursuing them. You know, then he did a rap song, say, you know, like last year or so, saying we're too large for them, so they can't handle us, so we send our women to get them. You know, and one day, you know, around that time period he did a rap song, I was sitting in front of Washington Market Park on Chambers at Greenwich, and I fell asleep, and this white woman was touching me while I was sleeping, and she was, you know, just like sexually seducing me and stuff, and then she took off her coat, placed it on me. You know, it was like she was trying to lure me to come home with her. You know, even though I'm gay, I was born a boy, I'm not a girl, I'm not into women. You know, and soon I discovered somebody choked somebody in that area around COVID. It was a homeless guy that nobody sits in front of the Target store. Yeah, there's all kinds of weird stuff which is happening, and they never found out the serial killer that did that. You know, and around that time also they said there was a serial killer in Washington D.C. that was headed towards that area, was killing people on his way, and I used to sleep on the street in that area. I say he made it all the way to Canal Street. All of a sudden I heard there was this white guy, he had dreadlocks. Anytime I begged for money from the Target store, he would also come and beg for money. Before the Target store, Greenwich and Murray. That one day I found out why there was a serial killer for Washington D.C. was killing the people. I was headed towards New York. I came all the way to Canal Street. I was killing people.
The next stop is Nereid Avenue.
So they're giving false report and trying to go myself. You know. So I don't know. Are these people serious? I was always on the street, and it's like, you know, it's like somebody somewhere was trying to lure me to run away from the street and to go home with somebody, like all these rappers, so they can possibly harm me or whatever. You know, make me more desperate. They said there was a serial killer. You know, around the COVID, so it was killing people all the way from Washington D.C. The news was reporting that they have believed that's headed towards New York City, and it was killing people you meet on the way. And they said they found it in a homeless shelter, near where we normally sleep at, by Canal Street, you know, or something that was killing people. And then there was this white guy that normally comes around me when I beg for money on Tiger Street. He started begging for money on Tiger Street. And I found out while he was sleeping, around the area I normally sleep in. They found him dead. Somebody came and choked him dead. You know, so I'm like, I know the law enforcement in America can make up false reports to psychologically break down whoever they want to break down. You know, so I'm like, is this killings real? Or are they just trying to scare me to go back to somebody's house? Because anytime I go back to people's house, you know, to use the bathroom or whatever, the person will rape me and wants to get married right away. So I don't know if this information is real or not, but I know my friend and grandma was killed for real. My mother was killed for real, but I don't know any other stuff, what is real anymore. You know, but because I heard the law enforcement in America can lie. You know, they're legal allowed to lie. You know, and it seems one of the main thing is they try to force me to somebody's house. And the person can rape me and kill me, steal my sperm, create a child, and make sure I don't inherit any money I get. My potential lawsuit from the U.S. Immigration for arresting me wrongfully and the NYPD taking my home wrongfully doesn't come. You know, I don't get that money. That money will go back to an American family or whatever. You know, so this is what is going on. You know, so back to the Damon Lillard. So in 2021, some black girls attacked me. They said they were from Trinidad, but it's not like black Americans. In front of close to the basketball stadium, Barclays Stadium, and they chased me in front of moving cars, and I went and hid in the store. And the store owner called 911, and they broke the store window down, trying to beat me like how they beat gays in England and here. With a stick. I said that's where the word fight God comes from. You know, and the police refused to give a police report. Told the store owner no. Even though they saw the kids with the metal pipe, saw the windows broken in pieces. You know, and I and the store owner requested a police report. The police said no. And at that time, Eric Adams was about to become mayor. You know, and it's been egging on the police to continue attacking immigrants like we say New York is not for outsiders. You know, as I should be tolerated. As soon as the police stole my green card, stole thousands of dollars from me that I was going to use to buy a house, you know, I was congratulating the police in a message in Harlem, close to my mother's birthday, January 9, 2020. Even though there was COVID and bad on indoor gathering around that time, he went and said, he was mimicking things I would normally say, and he was using it to mock me, you know, and he would say, and he said, you know, go back to your Ohio. Go back to Iowa, say you outsiders are not going to come in New York. You know, so this is what is going on. So they leave the doors open again. You know, so this, so around that time also, December 2021, after the kids,
Stand clear of the
when the kids
closing
beat me
door,
up,
please.
you know, and the police would take a report, and now some of the teenage gang, I've killed a guy called Michael Hernandez around that area also. So all these killings and brutality needs to be investigated by New York State Commission on Ethics and Lobbying in Government. And so after the kids attacked me in 2021 and the police would take a report, the store owner, I went and hid in the store, wanted the police report, I wanted the police report, the police would give us a police report, NYPD. So this Damon Lillard was saying, congratulations, Thunder Leg. And I noticed the kids was kicking with their leg. You know, my mother, daughter, Bolale, you know, she likes to kick people also. You know, my mother said she learned that while she was going to school in the Bronx. And she beat up a white family. You know, and she was put in a juvenile prison. You know, so this Damon Lillard was saying, congratulations, Thunder Leg. In like a terror-filled message, you know, and it wasn't using real English. It coined the phrase Thunder Leg. You know, that only I would understood, or only I could understand, because my mother's daughter likes to kick people also. Yeah, they had an all-female gang kick me, and my mother's daughter was born in Brooklyn, New York, and this female gang claimed they're also first-generation Americans from Trinidad. You know, so and this developer posted a message saying congratulations Thunder Leg after the kick me, and was recorded on video. You know, and he sent a message to like an Nintendo message to a basketball player, female basketball player. And this This Damon Lillard, he works for Nike as one of their sponsored athletes, and since then, Nike has also been posting ads, at the Penn Station, saying you never win anything. Why don't you win this time around? And they had a female basketball player with the ball in her hand, and a bunch of females were trying to kill me, lynch me dead. I guess to kill me and ask my mother's daughters to take my sperm and create children. I guess So I'm gay. I was born a boy. I'm now a girl. So there's a gang. My mother told me to be very careful that those are part of the narcotic gang that like to kill people for money. And I believe there are people that are trying to kill me. I was born a boy, and they're trying to kill me, steal my sperm, and produce children. Because I'm trying to sue U.S. immigration. I was arrested wrongfully, and the police took my home on Staten Island, came off Eric Garner. So there are people that are trying to kidnap me. I'm a Nigerian. I was born a boy. I'm now a girl, and steal my sperm. And they said Eric Garner also, when he died, his wife had a baby on the way. So there's a gang that's like trying to kidnap males and take their sperm and create a child after they die and inherit everything.
This
So,
is an accessible station.
So they said there's a female gang here in America in the Midwest some years ago. That female gang used to lure homeless men on the street to come stay with them, and they will marry this man and poison this man, kill them, and win life insurance. While the men are alive, file a life insurance policy on this man. So this is what is going on. So I believe this Damon Lillard
Stand clear of the closing doors,
most
please.
likely trying to groom me to be killed. And congratulating people, the Black American gang, they call themselves Trinidadians. They attacked me in 2021. The police officers took a report, and since then, I believe this gang killed Michael Hernandez while he was in that area, stabbing there, and they always punch me. Anytime I go to that Target store, Atlantic Terminal, the Black American workers will try to kill me in that store. And I believe they want to intentionally put that store in trouble, kill me, and then have my mother's daughters inherit my money and share with the gang member through, maybe siphon the money through money laundering by creating children with these gang members and using the money as child support. Because for some reason, people have been telling me they want to marry me and create a child right away. They want to marry me. So I believe this is the way they want to siphon the money, traffic the money, and this Damon Lillard needs to be investigated. Nike needs to be investigated also. And also, this Nike has been trying to lure me to fix surrogacy. They put an ad on Penn Station, 31st Street, where nobody go to his bathroom. And as a female basketball player, she was holding the ball in her hand, and the ad says, "You never win anything. Why don't you try to win this time around?" And the female basketball player was holding the ball. And I've been trying to sue the immigration, trying to sue NYPD, and my mother's don't skip my mother, and I can't get a lawyer. This has been for almost 25 years now. So this Nike, they said Nike, it doesn't like Africans because they said some Africans pirate their product and sell it cheaper. So please, New York State Commission on Ethics and lobby the government. This Me Too, Nike, Black American basketball players, they're in the collusion to kill me as a Nigerian. I'm an activist. My mother's been killed, and I've been arrested. My green card stolen. All my money stolen. A Black American African has been killed. My mother's been killed. And they leave the train,
219th Street.
turned up the heat in the train, left the door open, and there was a guy that was crying, was homeless also. I had to start recording and inform the train workers they had to turn it back on. They said 8 people have already died already, homeless people. I went to the shelter for people that are trafficked, operated by the Brooklyn prosecutor's office, and they wouldn't help me yesterday. And they told me to come back to today, Wednesday, and I believe this is a
Stand clear of the
terror
closing
leading,
doors, please.
threat to me, because my mother was killed on a Wednesday. I was born on July 8th, Wednesday, and they say gang members like to use terror laden messages. So I used to go to a Black American church, Bishop Jordan Ministry, and he said people's birthday would determine their destiny. It's like a numerologist. He said number 8, I was born on the 8th, so it's an important day. And he said number 17, the kid regard on the 17th of July, close to my birthday. He said God regards number 17 as number 8. You know, there's a black American guy also. His name is Charlemagne. He calls himself the God. And he was arrested for raping a child in South Carolina somewhere, or North Carolina, but he went to prison. Now he's a New York DJ. He's making like $100 million as a DJ. And he's been saying
This
stuff
is
like,
Gun Hill Road. This is
like
an
also
accessible
like
station. The
supporting
elevator is at the
what I'm
center
going
of the
through.
platform.
He's been saying, you know, if you can make up a good lie, nobody will believe the truth. So the truth. He kept saying that repeatedly on his radio show. And every Wednesday we say hump day. Wednesday's hump day. And every Wednesday I'm begging for money on the street. People will try to grab my breast, calling me baby and stuff. So I believe there's a gang trying to kill me and claim, you know, I'm part of a cult. And I authorize them to go
Stand
have a
clear
job
of the
for me.
closing doors,
And here's
please.
my money. So this is terrorism. I'm in Nigeria. My green card has been stolen. I'm trying to sue U.S. Immigration also. They arrested me as a child. And as a black American gang, they are planning to kill me and claim I'm part of the cult. And I lied that I authorized them to create a child for me and inherit my money. So I was born a boy. I'm now a girl. So I don't have any child. I'm not married. But they said, you know, dead people tell no tale. There was a white guy also that was doing this in upstate New York. He was raping women, college students. He was a college professor, Sarah Lawrence College cult. He was raping college kids, but he was making this women sign a declaration that they would sue him or press charges against him. And it was like a cult, a religious cult. And the feds were able to put him in prison, even though he had written permission from these young college kids saying they granted permission to rape them. The feds said it put so much pressure on this kid. You know, but with me, I think this black American gang wants to kill me. And they said, you know, dead people tell no tale. And go line court said I've already signed an agreement for with them to adopt children for me,
The next
to take
stop
over my
is
state and kill me.
Allerton Avenue.
You know, so I went to the Brooklyn
Stand
District
clear of
Office,
the closing
office
doors,
yesterday.
please.
That is a black American gang. They chased me with metal pipe, tried to beat me up, smashed the window in pieces as soon as I was elected mayor. And the police would take a report. And that gang stabbed a Hispanic male dead in front of Atlantic Terminal, Barclays Stadium, Target store. And I believe that some of the Target store members are gang related. Anytime I go to that store, the black Americans will call the police on me. Say, this person stink, yo. Get out of our store. You stink, yo. You know, and the police will join with them. Say, get out of the store. Excuse me, are you a police officer? Are you a gang member? I say, you're not supposed to make fun of somebody. And the police officer will say, get out now. And some black Americans say they're going to have me choked dead like George Floyd. Saying, you know, say we Africans sold their ancestors to slavery, and to win them civil rights, anytime any bad things happen to a black American, they're going to do it to an African. Say that's going to bring them more civil rights. So there's some black Americans trying to kill me like George Floyd. They have some black American police officers also joining. So anytime I go to the store to shop, you know, they'll try to beat me up. You know, and have me, and they've already locked me up in the mental ward, declared me crazy. My mother was locked up in the mental ward also. There's another Nigerian was locked up in the mental ward. So they're locking us Nigerians up in the mental ward. Even there's some black Americans that make fun of foreigners, saying we foreigners, our accents makes us sound like crazy. There was this little Kim, she used to make fun of Nicki Minaj, who's from Trinidad, and Drake is from Canada. Say y'all sound crazy, you know. And there's a black American, another black American named what's her name? Wendy Williams. She used to make fun of Naomi Campbell. She's a Jamaican British woman. I say she always sounds crazy when she speaks English. You know, and when I go on 911 also to report that the police started helping me, a police officer that they transfer my phone call to hang up the phone on me. Say, you sound crazy, yo. I don't understand your accent. Hang up on me. So they're framing up foreigners as crazy. They said, you know, usually when people don't speak American accent, or sometimes in
Stand clear
America,
of the closing doors,
they
please.
declare them as mentally retarded, you know, because if they can't pronounce words clearly, you know, so it says that we foreigners, they sometimes declare us as mentally retarded because we don't pronounce words in the American way. So just like in the days where the slave owner would beat up the black American slaves for not being able to speak English properly. So now this is what they're doing to me. As a Nigerian, they locked me up in the psych ward, and stole my green card, said I sound crazy. The way I speak English sound crazy, I have an accent. And there's a black American guy planned to kill me because I'm worth a lot of money. Immigration arrested me when I was a child. My mother was a U.S. citizen, and immigration arrested me as a child wrongfully. So I'm trying to sue U.S. immigration, and Uganda was going to help me in the post with Uganda. And so there's a black American guy said they're going to kill me and take over my state because I was born a boy, I'm now a girl. So they're going to kill me and take my sperm, create children, and raise those children for me, and lie in courts that I authorized them. I was also a member of the gang.
Helen
Transfer
And
is
the
available
Brooklyn
through
DA's office wouldn't help me.
EX12 select
This
bus
gang also stabbed a Spanish guy dead in front of the Target store. So they're killing people from the store. The Spanish guy's name is Michael Hernandez. So I went to the Brooklyn DA's office yesterday, Tuesday. I said, please help me, put me in a witness protection program. And I said, sorry, we can't help you. Go somewhere else.
This is a Manhattan-bound The next
So this
stop
is crazy.
Bronx
So
Park
please, New York State
Stand
Commission
clear of the
on Ethics and Lobbying the
closing
Government,
doors,
you always investigate, get corruption among New York officials. They've turned New York into a gang land, whereby they're locking immigrants up in the mental ward. Say our accent makes us sound like we're crazy, we're mentally retarded. Under this Eric Adam, they were attacking me everywhere, chasing me in front of moving cars. There's a black American gang, connected with a black American basketball player named Damon Lillard, and he will send them congratulations messages on Instagram, say congratulations after they attack me, and he will coin the phrase thunder leg. To an average person will not understand what does thunder leg mean. So he was making fun of me. I was using a Thunder VPN because a VPN is something you use to protect your phone when your phone is being hacked. So I downloaded a free VPN called Thunder because somebody was going to my phone. As soon as I record any video, they will steal it from my phone. I won't find it anymore. So I downloaded a Thunder VPN, and that VPN wasn't working. All of a sudden, some black female attacked me in Brooklyn as soon as Eric Adam was declared winner of the election, and they were chasing me with metal pipes hitting me, and somebody was recording it. So I ran across the street from the Atlantic Avenue back to the stadium around there. I went and hid in a store, and they came with a metal pipe, broke down the store glass. The white guy called 911. I called 911, and I was screaming. I said there's some black American females kicking me, hitting me with a metal pipe, and the kids shouted, we're not black Americans, we're Trinidadians. So that's very important. Somebody told these kids, don't call yourself black Americans, call yourself Trinidadians. We want you to kill this Nigerian, and we don't want you to do like it's a hate crime, because if you're black Americans, it can be proved you killed this Nigerian because they're from another
Stand
country.
clear of the
So if you're
closing doors, please.
also from another country, it just look like, maybe this
Stand
Nigerian
clear
was
of the
crazy
closing doors, please.
and got into a fight with you, and that's why you killed them. So those kids were shouting as I was calling 911. Said, don't call us black Americans, we're from Trinidad. I'm like, okay, why these kids snitching on themselves? So that was, whoever hired them told them, make sure your identity is established, because usually little kids, you can get away with killing a homeless foreigner. We just call this person crazy, but they had already misdiagnosed me as crazy at that time. My mother's address also moved me like a narcotic black American gang that killed people for money, and they went and locked my mother up as crazy. They said once you call somebody crazy in this country, they are dead meat. Even a black American, his name is Jordan Neely. He was on the train telling people he's hungry in 2024. Says he's hungry, and the white guy stuck behind him and choked him dead. They said the jury freed this white guy, Daniel Penny. They said, love the jury were black Americans also. They said, even Michael Jackson's father said that. He said when they were calling his son, Wacko Jacko knew they would kill him and get away with it. He said, the two people that don't have rights in America are blacks and crazy people. So when they start calling you crazy in this country, run for your life. And I had another group, gays like me. So I'm black, They frame me up as crazy like I'm in the mental ward, and I'm also gay. So there's a black American guy said they're going to kill me. I was born a boy, I'm now a girl. So they're going to take my sperm after they kill me, and they're going to say I was a member of a gang, and I had agreed for them to raise my children. You know, so they said this is how they're going to get a reparation back. So New York State Commission on Ethics and Lobbying the Government, you were formed to investigate corruption among New York public officials. I went to the Brooklyn DA's office yesterday, you know, and they wouldn't help me either. You know, they said go somewhere else. You know, I said my green card has been stolen, my money has been stolen, and your office has a helps immigrants that are being trafficked, that can help me get all my documents back and arrest these gang members, including this basketball player, Damian Lillard. Also, Nike has joined in. They said Nike hates Africans and we make fake Nike products. So for the past 25 years, I've been trying to sue U.S. immigration. I was arrested as a child wrongfully. No lawyer helped me. And the police took my home. Eric Garner was trying to help me. They went and took Eric Garner dead. So Nike has been sponsoring ad. Say you never win anything. Why don't you win this time around? And they have a female holding the ball in her hand. So they're trying to lure me to marry a female and produce a child, and I think that female just killed me.
This is a Manhattan-bound 2 train.
You know, so Nike's also getting involved. So they put an ad at the Penn Station. So I record the ad, post it online. Anytime I go to use the bathroom Penn Station, the police will come and drag me out. Say you stink. People say you stink. You can't be in the Penn Station bathroom. And the police will try to pick me up and take me to the Penn Station. And I heard there's customs in the Penn Station now, because they've always been there, because trains are from Canada, Mexico, and say they're attacking immigrants in the bathroom and locking them up and deporting them. So every time I go to the Penn Station, they don't let me use the bathroom. And also they're telling me, you know, people have been telling me that if any bathroom I use, the police go to invade the bathroom and shoot me dead and claim I'm crazy in the bathroom, attack them first. And they're using Guantanamo Bay torture on me. So I was using the bathroom on Chambers Street on November 14, 2025. On a day synonymous with my mother's daughter that killed her birthday, Volali. She was born November 14, and she was born August 14. So on November 14, I was using the bathroom, and 7 police officers came and dragged me out of the bathroom. Guantanamo Bay torture method. In Guantanamo Bay, they take foreigners there, and they would, you know, obstruct their breathing, drown them in water. They say if you put pressure on somebody's pipes, it could trigger the person to have a heart attack. So I have diarrhea, and there's been reports of people trying to use the bathroom and can't find the bathroom, and their colon will rupture and they will die immediately. You know, here in America, a woman was trying to use the bathroom and couldn't find the bathroom, and her colon ruptured and she died. A guy in China was trying to pee, was drunk, and he couldn't get up in time. His bladder ruptured and died. So anytime I'm using the bathroom, the police will come and drag me out of the bathroom. On November 14, 2025, they came and dragged me out of the bathroom, and I was like, please, I use the bathroom. I use the bathroom. They said, no, and they dragged me out. You know, my colon almost exploded, and they were choking me like Guantanamo Bay style. They said if you put pressure on someone's pipe, they will have a heart attack. And they didn't tell me what I did wrong until they finally told me that a black American called them, so I said I stole the phone. I'm like, there's a lot of black Americans trying to kill me. They said for slavery. So, and then I showed me the black American guy. The guy was taller than me, muscular than me. I'm like, there's no way I would take a phone from this muscular guy, taller than me, and he wouldn't take the phone back from me. He said, the guy said I took the phone from his hand, and I went and sat in the bathroom. And he's been waiting for me to, you know, I said, this black American guy is taller than me, more muscular than me. There's no way I would take a phone from him and go and wait in the bathroom for the police to come and arrest me. I said, if I stole a phone from somebody, I would leave the train station. I wouldn't take a phone from somebody more muscular than me, you know, and go hide the bathroom. I said, I'm gay. You know, a black American guy, you know. And I said, I wanted, and they searched me, they didn't find the phone. I said, I see, he's lying to you. I said, can you arrest him? They said, no, it's you we're going to arrest. I said, what are you going to arrest me for? He said, when we're arresting you, you were crying, screaming. I said, I didn't use the bathroom. I was about to explode in my stomach. My colon was about to rupture. I said, no. I said, next time, you shouldn't have screamed. I said, you were choking me with a mask on my face. My colon was about to burst open. You were putting pressure on my stomach, and I didn't want to defecate on myself. He said, you were choking me in the bathroom floor. I said, we're arresting you. I said, no, I said, there's a no bail law that said, you know, that if somebody didn't commit a violent crime, you just checked their ID and issued them a summons to appear in court. They said, no, we're taking you to the station, to the prison. I said, you're violating all the law. There's a law sign that unless somebody has a weapon, like a gun,
This is a Manhattan-bound
you know,
train.
you don't take them
The
to
next
prison
stop
because a
is
lot of blacks get
Freeman
jammed up in
Street.
prison. Can't hire a lawyer to
Stand
get bail.
clear of the closing
They said
doors,
that
please.
they said, you know, under New York law that's been passed now for 2 years, they said, you know, they can't put you in prison. They can't lock you up in jail. Even they can just issue a summons
The New
to
York
appear
City
in court.
Police Department would like
Unless
to
you have a
remind
weapon
that
on you when you're
backpacks
shooting,
and other
or
large
you
containers
know,
are subject to random search
and they didn't
by
even
the
find any
police.
stolen
Thanks for
phone or
riding
anything,
with us.
or anything. But still, as the police was choking, I was screaming. So that's why they want to charge me with obstruction of justice. You know, and it took me away to their prison. While I was in their prison, jail on Canal Street area. You know, and I was telling them, I'm being roughly locked up. I told them, shut your mouth. You know, you talking to us. You know, it's distracting us. I said, can you call my embassy? They didn't call my embassy. And I told them, we're going to bring a taser and shoot you in the jail. You know, and they misspelled my name. I was telling them, please don't misspell my name. You know, and they told me it's okay,
This
you always
is
misspell
Freeman
my name.
Street.
I said,
As you
lying,
exit, please be
falsifying
careful of the gap between the platform
records
and
is
the
a
train.
felony. So this is crazy. This is beyond immigration enforcement. This Trump is now allowing people to attack immigrants and try to rob us, kidnap future children. I don't have any child, but they said they're going to take my sperm and create a child for me.
This
and
is a
go to the stairs and
Manhattan-bound
take
2
any
train.
money from my
The
state.
next stop is
You know,
Simpson
so please,
Street.
New York State Commission on Ethics and Lobbying the
Stand clear of
Government,
the
I've been
closing
contacting
doors,
you. You're
please.
supposed to investigate mafiaism among New York public
Stand
officials.
clear of the closing
And I
doors,
believe the
please.
reason why the prosecutors don't want to help me is because this gang has promised them a cut. Because this basketball player, Damon Lillard, is a basketball player for a Black American basketball. I think it's worth like $300 million. You know, so, and the Nike also is worth billions of dollars. So please investigate this. So I'm on the street, and the gang members have been threatening me that I'm going to lose an eyeball. So you see, once you sleep, we're going to punch you, and we're going to stab you in your eye. So, you know, and sometimes they try to set me on fire when I'm on the train, and the train is moving like this. They'll bring people with a lighter, and they could kill all the people on the train with me. They said in Chicago, they set a homeless person on fire. In New York also. Anytime there's any crime in America, they'll try to repeat it on me. You know, so there's a Black American gang that's trying to force us immigrants out by using violence against us. During the COVID, there were Black American gangs pushing Chinese into the train track. After Trump called China COVID China, and said it started
This is
COVID.
Simpson Street.
You know, so please, New York State Commission on Ethics and Lobbying the Government, please help me. I've been contacting you since last year. You don't help me. So please, if anybody's watching my video, if anybody's on the train with me, please donate to my Cash App, NYC Homeless. You have a right to sue in court. There are people trying to set me on fire, or they could come at any moment, set me on fire. My mother's been killed. There's some Black American gangs, and you don't have to wait till they set us all on fire. We can all sue in court. I told the MTA, don't help me either. So please donate to my Cash App, NYC Homeless, and befriend me. You find all my information on my Cash App, my full name. Google search my name. I post the videos on YouTube of people trying to set me on fire on the street. As soon as I fall asleep and I'm still, I'm just like, somebody will fire. They burn my leg, burn my skin.
This is a
You know,
Manhattan-bound 2 train.
So please, you don't have
The next
to
stop
be
is
terrorized in
Intervale
quietness.
Avenue.
You can sue
Stand clear of the closing
and
doors,
get
please.
money to possibly, if the court approves you, so maybe stay away from the train and be riding Uber. If the government in New York is going to encourage terrorism against immigrants, and you're all going to be affected, because, you know, like they say, I don't know how to say this. What goes around comes around. You know, anybody can be harmed. Nobody's immune to violence. So please, help me find a lawyer. My mother's been killed. My friend in Ghana was helping me has been killed. I was arrested wrongfully as a child by U.S. immigration. You know, even though I had papers, my mother brought me here from Nigeria. I was arrested at JFK. And for the past 25 years, no lawyer in America would help me. And they're black American gangs that are trying to lure me to a fake marriage and kill me and inherit any potential loss from me. So, and because it's been so long
Stand clear of
since the immigration
closing
arrested me, you have to
doors,
sue immigration within 6 months or so. But the only way they can extend the statute of limitation is to claim you're crazy. So there are people that have been trying to drive me crazy on the street. And they've also locked me up in a mental home, mental ward, you know. So that's the way this black American gang can kill me and sue. Because when immigration arrests you, you have to sue within 6 months. Otherwise, the statute of limitations expired. But if you can claim the person is crazy, the victim was crazy, that's why they couldn't sue. They were homeless on the street. So New York City, they refused to put me in a shelter. They want me to be dirty. I used to have enough luggages. My luggage was up to my, up this high, almost as tall as I am. I tied it with a rope. If I fall asleep, they would take all my clothes, all my luggages. So this is the only clothes I have left now. So to enable this black American gang kill me, they want me to be left in hazardous condition like this and to be easily accessible. So the Brooklyn District Attorney's Office refused to help me. And since this black American gang have been attacking me, chasing me with a metal pipe with a basketball player, Damon Lillard, you know, egging them on, you know, saying congratulations on the
stand clear of the closing doors, please.
You know, egging on my mother's daughter. My mother's daughter was born here in Brooklyn and she killed my mother also. My mother is part of a killer gang that kill people for money and inherit their property. My mother has properties all over the world. She invested in gold in Ghana. She's from Nigeria. She knew a lot of billionaires. So since they killed my mother, they stole all the money on the street, homeless. You know, as a matter of fact, when even my mother told me to reach out to one of the, she's you know, she knows a lot of billionaires in Nigeria. She told me, because while she was here in America, you know, she told me if something happens to her, I should reach out to people she knows. And I've been reaching out to people she knows. Nobody responds back to me. You know, so I'm currently stranded. Even the Nigerian government wouldn't help me. I think the Nigerian government hopes to profit from this, because Nigeria needs American investment. The electricity in Nigeria is going down, you know, and Nigeria wants to become industrialized. And America has a lot of companies that could invest in Nigeria's electricity. So the Nigerian government is acquiescing. They want the police to be able to kill me and get away with it, and then for the American government to bribe them and bring American companies to invest in Nigeria. So the Nigerian government started helping me investigate. I told them every Ghana was killed by the police when I was trying to help me. I said, you know, I have all the information, and the Nigerian government promised to help me, and they refused to help me. You know, so they're trying to get leverage, because if somebody like me is killed, then they can then use that as a leverage and tell the American government, either you bring your companies to Nigeria to invest, or otherwise we're going to cause a scene. That you kill that Nigerian on purpose, you torture that Nigerians, that Nigeria was a child. I finished high school in Nigeria at 15. Now I'm almost 45. I've been trying to finish college in America. I've not been able to finish college. The immigration problem, the killing of my friend in Ghana, the killing of my mother, me being homeless for 50 years on the street. Each time I start college, I can't finish. I end up failing. My mother used to take me all over the world, and we used to tell her, this kid is so brilliant. This kid speaks very good English. You know, and as soon as I finished high school, at 15 soon after that, she brought me to America and I was arrested at JFK. Like, no, we don't allow children here. And they canceled my visa. You know, it was a wrongful arrest. And for 25 years, I can't get any lawyer to help me. You know, so I've been begging people that if they want to donate money to me. I've been 30 years trying to graduate college. It's unheard of. It's unheard of for someone to spend 30 years in college. Each time I start, you know, and I'm homeless on the street, and they have all this gang, they fight me as I'm studying, and I'm not able to study, and I end up failing. You know, so I'm telling people to borrow me student loan. New York City now has
Transfer is
free
available to the
free
5
col-
train.
free
Transfer to the
tuition.
41.
If you want to study nursing, all I need is just know to rent an apartment.
The elevator is at
And I
the
believe with
center of the
$1,000 a
platform.
month, I can get a place to live. So New York has free college now for nursing and other programs. I used to get 4.0 GPA. As soon as my mother brought me from Nigeria, I used to go to Catholic college. You know, I was computer science major. I was a teenager
Stand
around
clear
about
of
that
the
time.
closing doors,
And I was
please.
getting 4.0 GPA. But the US government wouldn't give me any scholarship. They took my visa as soon as I arrived at the airport. Said, we don't want children here. So I was going to the college and my mother had a heart attack. She was working as a home health aide. So she told the St. Francis College that they should give her a payment plan that I don't qualify for student aid in America because my case is in immigration court. And she told them to give her a payment plan of $500 a month. She was a Catholic also. She always donates money to the Catholic Church. And she told them to either give me a scholarship or put me on a payment plan of $500 a month. Because I was getting 4.0 GPA, my college tuition was like $5,000. And the school said, no. We're not going to give this kid payment plan because this kid is not an American citizen. Our charity is only for American citizens or lawful resident. My mother said, are you as a Catholic church? You can. And my mother had a heart problem at that time. She's finally dead now. So I'm still trying to finish my college classes. Even my mother, she was telling me, give up on the college. I don't think college is for you. Before she died, she's been almost said everybody, you know, that started college after I've already graduated. So find other things to do. But I still want to go to college, you know. So it's been 30 years already. I finished high school in Nigeria at 15. I was very brilliant, you know, but I'm not used to stress. And the homelessness is affecting me. And they stole my green card also. The police arrested me left on the sidewalk. Stole all the money I had, you know. So all I have is just the clothes on my body. And a lot of the things I have now is my books. I like to read a lot of stuff. Newspapers, I like to, you know. So please, they need to stop killing dreams. Martin Luther King had a dream and it's been killed. That one day people will be judged. You know, so I would like to implore all of you, please tell people about my story. I'm trying to testify in
Stand
Congress
clear of the closing doors,
that
please.
this is no longer immigration enforcement. This is, you know, biological weapon. You know, since I was a teenager, they put me in an immigration prison, took away my visa, and for 25 years now, I can't get the case fully resolved. You know, I can't, you know, I'm trying to sue the U.S. immigration for delaying me from going to school
Hello,
because I
everyone.
didn't
The New York
qualify.
City
When they
Police
took away my
Department
visa,
would like to
I didn't
remind
qualify for
you
student
to your
aid.
belongings inside
You know, so
and
please
stay
go to my
aware of
cash
your
app for my
surroundings.
shoulder.
If you see something
And also,
suspicious at
you
the
know,
station
or when
or
you
the
see
train,
me,
call a police officer
or you
or
can
an
also
MTA employee.
borrow me a
Thanks
student
for
loan.
riding
If you
with
have a
us.
credit card, I have a social security number. You can befriend me. I will sign what is called a loan agreement with you, and I will put in I'm sorry, I always sleep at night like this, but I was woken up with the cold weather, so that's why I'm stuttering. I will sign a loan agreement with you, saying I'm going to pay you back your money, and in case I die or I'm killed, there's an agreement I could sign that will prioritize you getting paid your money back. Even if I die, you will be paid back from my estate, any money I have. I've recorded a lot of videos of me being on the street, 15 years on the street. You know, every day the police attacked me. I was choked. I recorded everything. So I'm trying to do a documentary of my life, you know, and stuff. So I believe I'll be able to pay you your money back. You know, because my story is worth telling. 30 years, I finished high school in 1950, and I'm almost 45 now. For 30 years, I can't finish college. I started college in America. I was getting 4.0 GPA and thereabout. Computer science major, assistant credit, St. Francis College. and they wouldn't give me scholarship. They wouldn't give my money to you know, so the student aid in America needs to be reviewed. They need to provide more financial assistance for people that want to go to school, because sometimes it's hard to go to school if you're homeless on the street. You know, but now they have free colleges. All I need now is just housing. I'm like $1,000 a month. I'll be
Transfer
able
is
to get
available to
housing.
the 3
You
train.
know,
This is
because
an
I've been attacked
accessible
by gang
station.
members.
The elevator
They're
is
threatening and
at
they're going
the
to stab
center
my
of the
eye
platform.
ball to punish Africans for slavery. And the prosecutor's office don't help me. I go to their office, they tell me, no, we cannot contact U.S. Immigration.
This is
I'm like, gang members, they're going to stab me on the train, set me on fire. Say, U.S. Immigration will help you. They will help you find the gang members.
Stand
So
clear
this
of
is
the
crazy.
closing doors,
I spoke
please.
with a guy called Anthony from the Brooklyn District Attorney's Office. I asked him for his last name, what his last name. He said, you know, I think it's just threatening with deportation, because we all know this immigration are looking for people to deport. My green card has been stolen, and I can't even prove my status. So they're turning to a mockery. And since I've been getting attacked by gang members, a Spanish guy also around that Target, be careful. Going to Target store in Brooklyn, there's all kind of gang activities going on there. Atlantic Avenue, near the Barker Stadium. A guy was stabbed there in front of that store. Each time I go there, there's a police on. So I smell bad, and the police and the workers will be making fun of me. I'm saying, get out of here, get it out. And we bring the handcuffs out as I'm shopping. I would have loaded my cart with stuff, and they would go and bring the police and tell this person to get out of here. The person smell bad. You know? And they said they want to kill me like George Floyd. George Floyd was killed while he was shopping, so they stopped all the prison. They said it's going to win more civil rights for Black Americans if immigrants are starting to get killed, so the whole world's going to march for Black Americans. That's what. So it's not fair to use Black Americans that get killed all the time. So you know, there's a savage gang in Brooklyn, so they're going to start killing foreigners. You know, and already a Spanish guy's been stabbed there in front of the Atlantic Avenue Target store. The Brooklyn District Attorney's want to investigate it. Before they killed that Spanish guy, I used to call 911. I said, some Black American guys always punch me, chase me around, try to kill me. I said, they're going to kill somebody soon. And I'll be crying, call 911, and the police will come. I said, you're thinking crazy, you're making this up, we're going to lock you up. Stop calling 911. So next time I call 911, just say there's a gang beating you up,
Stand clear of
so
the
we're going to lock
closing
you
doors,
up.
please.
And so I stopped calling 911. A Spanish guy sat in front of the store, Target store. The gang came and stabbed him dead. Michael Hernandez. So this NYPD is gang affiliated. They're engaging in terrorism of foreigners. U.S. Congress, please pass amnesty for foreigners in New York City, if not anywhere else. This police is using Trump's immigration enforcement to treat foreigners like pieces of garbage. Anywhere I go, they call it garbage. You're garbage, get out of here. You know, this Trump started calling immigrants garbage. So please, if just for immigrants in New York City. My mother had a dream, she said when she was a baby, she used to dream in a Nigerian village. And all she would dream about is being in America as a baby, you know. And then she didn't even want to come to America anymore. A pastor told her to come. And she became a U.S. citizen and all. So, and she was locked up in a psychiatric hospital. Her own daughters that were born here in New York City framed her as crazy because my mother has gold investments in Africa. She knows a lot of African billionaires, you know. So and she has a lot of property. So I was killed her in America to inherit all her property, you know. And the police would help me. And now there's a Black American basketball player. I think he's a player, my mother's daughter. His name is Damon Lillard. And after I got beat up in Brooklyn by this gang that stabbed
Stand
me,
clear of the closing
stabbing people
doors,
dead in
please.
Brooklyn, this Damon Lillard congratulated the gang. Say congratulations. Thunderlight. Those kids, they use Black American teenagers and teenagers to attack people. So all of a sudden, I was talking on the phone, trying to connect my phone to Simple Mobile, and the Simple Mobile told me the Target store, you know, put a block on your phone. I said I bought the phone from Target store, and they gave me a receipt, but I displayed the receipt, and I was telling Simple Mobile, can you please help me activate the phone? They said Target store put a block on your phone, so your phone wasn't sold. I was that person. They said, go back to the store. Simple Mobile told me, go back to the store and go argue with the store. I said, George Floyd just got killed. I said, I'm not going to go to a store after I lost the receipt and go argue with them. I said, you know, I was telling people, are you trying to lure me to death? I said, put the Target store on the phone. And they can check their computer records to show I was in the store, and they can check the serial number. They gave me a receipt. I lost the receipt. I don't know why they put a block on my phone after I left the store, saying my phone
Stand
was
clear of the
paid for.
closing
I said,
doors,
maybe the
please.
Black American workers there. They said they wanted to kill Africans. You know, I told the simple mobile, you call Target store when I'm on the phone with you. I was calling the 800 number. I said, you call Target store, put me on the phone with them, verify, let them check their computer system to see. In December 2021, it was around December 2021. I said, I went to that store, called the phone, and I said, you know, somebody stole my bag with the receipt in it. And I said, you know,
Good morning, everyone. There's no elevator service
I'm
at
sure they said Target store put a block on my
Transfer
phone.
the next stop, 96,
Said my phone wasn't
107,
paid for.
104.
And the simple mobile person, you go to the store and go argue with them. I said, I'm not going to walk into the store with a phone when there's a dispute, whether I paid for it or not, and I don't have to receipt. And I said, the Black American workers there was coming and staying before the police on me. I said, they was telling me they're going to kill me like George Floyd. And then inherit the money, claim I'm in a gang with them, and I promised them if I die, they should inherit all my money. You know, as soon as I was talking, all of a sudden, I started getting hit, punch, kick, boom, bam, a bunch of black females. So I was screaming, I was calling 911, you know, with my cell phone, because you can still call 911 even without getting it. You know, and they were kicking me close to the Atlantic Avenue Black Stadium. So I was calling 911, I said a bunch of black American teenagers are kicking me. And the kids started, we're not black Americans, we're from Trinidad. Tell the 911 you're from Trinidad, we're not black Americans. So I was like, okay, why is this kid trying to snitch on himself? Apparently, they wanted to kill me, and they didn't want to be charged with hate crime, because if they were black Americans, it could be proven they killed me because I was an immigrant. So they were claiming they're also immigrants, so that they wouldn't get charged with hate crime. And since they're little kids, they can just have been misdiagnosed as crazy. You know, the MTA and the police to start locking up homeless. So they've already set me up before then, misdiagnosed as crazy. So they're gonna just argue, oh, this crazy person was bothering people, and the little kids killed them. You know, they say a black American guy also joined the lady. Soon after I came on the train, said he's hungry, and the white guy choked him. I said the jury that was made up of black Americans set the white guy free. Like Michael Jackson's father said in 2009 after his son was killed, he said, two people that don't have rights in America are crazy people and black. And I would include my group as a gay person. You know, so please donate to my Cash App NYC Homeless. This affects everybody. This is xenophobia. Minorities killing minorities, while the whites are acquiescent. So please, I need to go to court. I need to go to before Congress if they can pass an amnesty just to cover immigrants in New York City. So if you lived in New York during the Trump years, you know, they can't even pass amnesty for everybody, just for immigrants in New York City. Because, you know, I believe this is a spiritual timing. Because my mother said as a child in Nigeria, she always drinking so herself in New York City. And then she went to high school and her teachers were from New York. And the teacher told her to come to New York.
Transfer is
And she came to New York to
one
serve.
train.
And
This is an
then she went back to
accessible
Nigeria, and
The
the
elevator
prophet
is at
told
the
her to come
rear
back
of the
here.
platform.
That God wants to use her. And she's like, she brought me here with her. My friend, a black American has been killed. My mother has been killed. It's been killing. A Spanish guy has been killed. Michael Hernandez. So they said, you know, I guess Satan in hell is angry. As soon as I go here, they put me under the lockups. The immigration was like, no, you can't be here. No, we don't want kids. I arrested me wrongfully as a child. So Satan must be mad in hell that I'm here. And guess what? You can be mad as hell, Satan, and whatever purpose God brought me for, you know, I want it to be achieved. without killing, and which is I want to speak out for immigrant rights. Speak out not just for civil rights for everybody. I had a black American. And regardless I was killed, I wanted to get justice for us. So I'm not just for immigrant rights. You know, I'm very passionate about rights, but I'm not a member of any cause. I don't have child. I'm not going to have a child. I was born a boy. I'm a girl. I'm not a girl. So I don't want anybody to kill me and take my sperm and produce children. You know, I didn't sign any agreement with anybody. So this is why I want to go to court to establish this. You know, and if I'm killed, any money I have should be used to get justice for me and my late mother, and the rest should be donated to charity to help immigrants being deported anywhere they are. You know, so this is very important. Like the Bible says, you know, take care of the poor foreigners. There was the story of the Good Samaritan. He was on his way to do business, and he encountered a foreigner beating up on the street, naked, and he used his money to take care of that foreigner. You know, so this is what is going on. Earlier, they turned up the heat, and there was like a black American guy. He was crying, he was homeless. So I started recording this video, and while I was recording, they turned the heat on. They said 8 homeless people have died. Man, Danny, you were born in Africa. I've been reaching out to you. You don't help me, and you came and made fun of me where I normally beg for money. On Broadway, 2 Broadway last year. You're 34, I'm almost 45. I wanted to run for mayor for many years now. I was telling people, I believe God brought me here
Transfer is
for
available to the 1
for civil rights as well. I was asking people to donate money to me. I want to run for mayor. Nobody donated nothing. And WABC Radio said the Arabs stole that idea from someone like me and paid you to run for mayor. And they said, you know, WABC Radio said, you don't want there to be peace, you want this to be a big crisis in New York, and so that, you know, Muslims can laugh at America if New York
Stand clear of
burns.
the closing
Civil rights
doors,
issues.
please.
Because you issued an order that all the shelters should
Stand
take people
clear of
in
the
because the
closing
weather is too
doors,
cold.
please.
I went to the Brooklyn District Attorney's Office yesterday, and they have shelters for people that are victims of crime, immigrants that are being abused. And they told me, no, go somewhere else. They wouldn't even let me pass. They had a black American police officer tell me to stand by the door. It was so cold, so you can't really come in. Stand by the door and stood with me. And you know, and they were letting the black Americans walk freely in. So they're treating immigrants like we're slaves. At the district attorney's office, they wouldn't even let me come in fully. They said told me to stand by the door. It was so cold. You know, and you know, so this is crazy. Blacks treating blacks like slaves. They said this started during the slavery. That the black Americans that were already here, when they bring new slaves from Africa, the slave master will tell them to beat up the new slaves and teach them to speak English.
Hello, everyone. The New
You
York
know,
City Police
so they
Department
continue that
would like to
legacy.
remind you that that act
There's a
and
lot of black
other
Americans in the
containers
district
are
attorney's
subject to random
office,
search
and
by
some of
the
them were
police.
laughing as I was
Thanks for
being treated
writing.
like an animal. So please, the situation in New York is crazy. They're killing immigrants. They're killing people like Eric Garner that's trying to help me as an immigrant. New York, U.S. Congress, you have to pass an amnesty, if just for New York City. Use it as a case study to see, and maybe require those immigrants to stay in New York City after they get their green card, and to see in 1 year if New York City's economy improves, if things go haywire, we can do that. Start, you know, maybe passing a general amnesty wouldn't help. Pass an amnesty for New York City alone anyway, to compensate for the brutality we've experienced here in New York. Every day they rob me of all my clothes, or when I call the police for them, and they told me to stop calling them. As the gang was attacking people in Brooklyn, and so I stopped calling them in Brooklyn. And in that neighborhood where those gangs attacked me at, they stabbed the Michael Hernandez. I believe it's a Puerto Rican. His mother's been crying that she's suspicious. So as his son was being taken away in ambulance, he was bleeding, and he said he was telling the people they should help to save his life. He doesn't want to die, but he bled death. He was bled to death to the hospital. And that kid's life would have been saved. It's a young man's life. If the gang, the NYPD gang, working with gangs, hadn't scared me from telling me to stop calling them. So next time I call them, they're going to lock me. They don't want to hear about all this stuff I'm saying, that gangs are attacking people, attacking people. And those gangs went and stabbed Michael Hernandez dead. You know, so New York State Commission of Ethics and Lobbying the Government is very serious. Please stop avoiding
This is
yourself.
Times Square,
Thank you.
46.